Good evening, South Sharks fans, and welcome to our Facebook Live from the AJ Bell Stadium. The World Cup is over, South Africa are world champions, and the budgie smugglers have been packed away. And now it's all about the Gallagher Premiership. Wasps are the visitors to Salford today for the first Friday night lights of the season at the AJ Bell Stadium. This is South Sharks Live. Hello everybody and welcome to a lovely Friday night. It's a little bit warm, we'll deal with that, but thank you for joining us live on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter. As ever, we are joined by Joe, Chris and today Big Al, and we'll talk to Big Al in a minute. Joe, who have you got in the studio today?
Wonderful. I've got Sale FC in the studio. I've got Andy Hughes, I've got Neil Briggs, and I've got Fergus Mulcrone, all taking your questions. So if you're watching on Facebook Live or even on YouTube, get into the comment section. What do you want to say ahead of this epic game? Make sure you get your comments in nice and early so I can read them out to the guys and make sure your questions are answered. But yeah, all the build up with Sale FC, guys. I can't wait. We're over there in that studio there. I'm waving to it now. Cheers, Colin. It's cold.
They're not over there, Joe. Hopefully they'll be over there in time. It is nice and warm up here in sunny Salford. We keep telling you we've got the greatest weather up here. Chris, what are you looking forward to in commentary, which will be following after our live? You'll be able to get the commentary with Chris and Ollie Lathrop. Chris, what are you looking forward to the most today?
Well, I think both sides are going to be desperate, Colin, for the win. They've both won one out of the first three games. Wasps clearly getting going against Bath last weekend. And Sale, obviously, having narrowly got beaten at Bristol, will mean they want to recover from that tonight. So two teams who've had a similar start to the season with one win from three. Lots of familiar faces, Colin, returning to the AJ Bell tonight in the Wasps lineup. Paolo Adogu on the wing, Tommy Taylor hooking, Simon McIntyre at loosehead prop. So some familiar faces to Sale fans. We've also got Matteo Minozzi appearing at fullback, the Italian fullback, fresh from the World Cup in his second game for Wasps. I think from the Sale side, Ambrose Papier having his first game starting at number 9 will be one to look out for, and clearly Ben Curry returns to the pack, having made that short trip out and back to Japan, which we all enjoyed on social media.
The show's full of ramen as well, actually. That'd be brilliant. And we're joined also by Big Al, because unfortunately I'm not good enough looking to be on the front of the camera, so I'm going to be behind the camera in the next few months, and Big Al's going to take over. Big Al, what are you looking forward to the most tonight? What's it like being at the centre of all this and having all these people around?
I suppose the thing is the atmosphere in the stadium. Getting everybody excited about it, and in the stand behind us here, the drum. We have it at every home game. We've got somebody there banging it away and whooping everybody up. It's fantastic.
I'm going to try and get up there a little bit later on and have a go at that drum myself. Just a quick question though, what's the hardest name to pronounce as a stadium announcer, or give us an idea of...
Well, I've got a bit of a cheat sheet, if I'm being honest. Some of the names are a little bit more difficult to pronounce. I do it phonetically. I write it down phonetically. That's my secret, and I still get it wrong then as well. I suppose from a Sale Sharks point of view, for some reason or other, I used to pronounce Marlon Yarde's name as Marlon Yarde.
Marlon Yarde, which is funny you should say that, because we actually went to see Marlon at training and actually had a question for him about how he's come back from this injury that he had last season and that great commitment to recovery. Let's take a look.
I had a few games off the bench and I've started my first game, completed my first 80 minutes in the weekend, which was great. That'll give me good confidence, obviously, going into the rest of the season now. And starting to feel week on week now, and I'm starting to feel like my old self again. So I'm really excited about what's to come ahead, and I'm just concentrating and working hard and getting myself back to where I was. Done a lot of work over the off season to get myself fit and ready to play. So the weekend was, I was prepared to play that, and I got through it pretty sweet. So I'm really excited now. I just want to keep push on and try to improve week on week and get myself to the levels that I know I can get to. We've come close in a lot of games that we should have won. I think so far we should have probably won all our games, being 30-0 up in that first game, letting that lead slip. The game against London Irish we performed really well, and that last game, I think in the first half we just didn't really play the way we wanted to play. We were caught in a bit of a kicking battle, which we were completely fine playing, but I think we just lost that battle a little bit. We didn't really fire any shots until the last 20 minutes. But it's all part of the learning process. I think we're in better stead for that going into this week, and we're back at home and we're back ourselves at home. The boys have trained really hard. We've had a real hard training week so far, and it's now about getting our bodies right for Friday night. Traditionally, Wasps have always been a great team. They've got some great backs, some exciting players. The league's moved on from a few years ago where you've got one or two teams where you kind of know if you play pretty well, you're going to win by a large margin. But nowadays, the games are sort of decided by one or two scores. I think that game against London Irish is pretty much a one-off, really. Although we just probably deserve to win by that margin on the day, but that doesn't happen too often. You know it's going to be a tight game, but we've got the players, we've got the quality, we've got the team to perform and win that game on Friday. So we'll back ourselves all. I'm sure the boys will want to put a good performance off the back of last Friday. Teams spend more time together, they bring more quality players, so the level and standard of playing has gone through the roof. So we know it's a tighter affair, and we're just going to have to make sure that we're switched on and we're performing.
A great insight there with Marlon down at training. You can see the extended version of that interview probably on Monday. If you keep your eye out on the social channels, you'll be able to get a hold of that. Questions as well for the studio guests later. Sharks Live, comments below. We keep wanting to hear what your questions are. I'm also now joined by Craig Monaghan from Community and Coops. Hi Coops, how you doing? Craig, why is Coops here today?
So I met Coops about 5 years ago on my sport recovery programme. After I got wounded and he got wounded, we both came through the pathway together, and then we linked back up again in Chicago in 2017. And then when I came into this role with Sharks Forces, I just dragged Coops along with me. He was a local lad, being wounded too, and I'd obviously needed some support from the projects, which is what we brought him along for.
Cool. And what's your job today, Coops? What's going to be happening today?
I'm presenting the rugby ball.
For kick-off for that, yeah?
I believe so.
Has he told you? He could be someone else with Craig, couldn't it, to be honest? What's it like having Craig and the Sharks around at the moment?
They're really helpful in my recovery and whatnot. It just helps me recovery, my mental health, just everything.
I think it's really key to have that support around you, doesn't it? And I think it comes in different places and things like that. Why is it so important to have this forces connection with Sharks at the moment?
Because with rugby union, it's the Army's main. Rugby union is the Army's main sport. It's probably the most popular sport. Even if you don't like rugby union in the Army, you get forced to watch it anyway. And I think it's always been that natural sort of pathway in terms of they both ran similar along. The military environment is very similar to the rugby union environment. It's a very boisterous culture, and pretty much on the outside that's what you get with rugby. And I think it just sort of makes sense to sort of combine them both. We're just very lucky here at Sale Sharks. We've got such a big programme which has sort of not only adapted that military community and rugby culture, it's also adapted that life after service and helping with that transition. And that's where we've really probably buttered our bread. Is pretty much we're in the business of transitioning soldiers out of the military, and we're using Sale Sharks to do that, and it's been proving quite positive.
And for you, Coops, has it been an easier thing to have kind of this kind of support, a former military man himself as well, a veteran as well, that's gone through similar things as yourself? Is it good to connect that way?
Having Craig around has been very useful for myself, fellow veterans, and I know that he's helped me, he's helped, like I say, fellow veterans. I know that he will help other veterans, and Sale Sharks on the whole will help us all.
Absolutely, and we want to engage with more veterans out there. Have you got any messages for those that might not have been able to engage so far? Is there a key thing you could tell these guys and serving women to?
Yeah, I think if you're even thinking that you need that transition, you even think about that you just want to be a part of that military community. And you don't have to have a problem, you don't have to need help, but if you want to be in an environment that's thriving in terms of we just want that sort of assistance and that help, or that sort of community feel, and be around people who you've served with previously, then sort of get in touch, come along. We've got 200 veterans tonight at this game, so it just shows that the impact of the project's massive.
Coops, are you confident on a Sale victory tonight?
I definitely am, yeah.
And what about the World Cup final last weekend? Surprised to see the outcome, or how did you see it?
I was very surprised. I thought we had a very strong chance. I thought we was in for a win.
You looking forward to seeing Faf de Klerk back here in a Sale shirt?
I definitely am, yeah.
I definitely don't. I hope we don't end up all wearing those budgie smugglers, by the way. I'm really worried about some bets that are going to happen towards the end of the season. Coops, thanks very much. We look forward to seeing you later on. Craig, it's always a pleasure. And yeah, get in touch with us at Sale Sharks if you do want to connect to these guys. It's a great atmosphere, it's a great opportunity to connect to other people. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Now, we've also had the opportunity to be and speak to Sale Shark at training again this week. Rob Webber took some time out for us to tell us about the preparation for these kind of games on Friday nights. And this is what he had to say.
Being around your mates as intensely and for as long as we are in a week is probably what keeps me going. Every week there's a different challenge, a different team, a different place, a different town. So you know, it keeps it fresh every week. You have to have a huge balance between good players, good coaches, the right environment and the right sort of people in your organisation. Players across all the league are pretty good. It's the X factor, it's the bits away from the rugby field that the teams that get that right get it right on the pitch. Just the whole standard of the league has improved. It's the speed of it and it's the intensity of it. I think they like to play a good brand of rugby, as do we if we get the opportunity. Definitely one to get excited about. As a young man going down to London and living in London, what turned out to be for a very long time, but was just really good and really developed me, I think, as a bloke and set me on the path that I went down. So I really enjoyed it and I had a great time there. Some of the signings they've made, Malachi Fekatoa, very dangerous player, him coupled with a couple of guys that have been there, and Jimmy Gopeth and Sopawanga. They've got very dangerous backs. Their back three are all electric. So I think it should be an exciting match. There was a good mixture of older players, younger players. I think that's the foundation for any success, is to get the environment right, and I know certainly that's what we're trying to do here now.
So that was an absolutely great opportunity there to look at what it takes, the dedication of Rob Webber there, the front row kind of skill set that you need, the hard work that needs to happen, as we see the guys warming up here with Angie up in the crowd there as well, doing his bits and pieces, which is great to see. You can see the extended version of that interview again, probably the week after next week on the social channels, so keep an eye out for that. Again, keep those questions coming. Don't forget, we've got live commentary with Chris. Chris, you're going to be here after we're gone? Are you going to keep on talking? And particularly, let's have a little look now at this opposition that was coming up. No pizzas today. I had to get that in, by the way. Sorry.
That's a few years ago now.
I know it's a long time ago, but it still hurts, man. It still hurts. I mean, the whole point of this pitch is fantastic. There's no excuses. That's the point, isn't it? There are no excuses. We've got a great opportunity today to beat this team, and I think from your perspective, what's going to be the key areas, you think?
Well, I think across the park, there are some key matchups. I mean, if we start at scrum half, Dan Robson clearly for Wasps, one of England's best scrum halves. He played twice in the Six Nations last year. Very unlucky not to make the World Cup squad. And he scored against Bath last week. That was his second try of the season. So he's a key player for Wasps at number 9. And obviously Ambrose Papier up against him, his first start for Sale. He's halfway through his loan period, covering Faf de Klerk's period at the World Cup. So important for him, having taken that number 9 jersey, to make a big impact, particularly in front of his home crowd. If we look into the backs, then clearly in the centre for Wasps, you've got Jimmy Gopperth, who is 36 now. He's one of the oldest players in the Premiership, but he's a class act. A lot of injury last year, but prior to that, one of the best players really in the outside centre or fly half position in the Premiership. Now up against him, Cameron Redpath, very much at the other end of the experience spectrum. It's his third start of the season. He only played twice in the whole of last year. So he's had opportunities with Sam James's injury at the start of this season. So that's a real match-up of experience against youth. And if we look at fullback, perhaps finally, Simon Hammersley's not missed a minute for Sale so far this season. He's been Mr. Reliable. He's come into the side, got tries on his debut against Northampton in the Premiership Rugby Cup, and he's looked really solid. And up against him, Matteo Minozzi, just back from the World Cup with Italy, where he got a couple of tries, his second game. He's a really dangerous runner, joining the line at pace. So some interesting matchups across the park, Colin, but I think both sides won't want to be played 4-1-1. If you win tonight, you won 2, lost 2, it looks a decent enough start to the season.
I mean, hopefully we'll get to talk to some people later about that. There was so much expectation as a Sale Sharks fan, and that's who we are. We're Sale Sharks fans. I'm a Sale Sharks fan, and we were kind of hoping that we were going to get off to a flyer, you know what I mean, and we were going to smash every single opposition that came to us, and it's just not happened that way. However, and it'd be nice to get your opinion on this, is we've left with bonus points, and I think how crucial do you think that's going to be?
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, the Sale team is a team in transition. Lots of exciting signings in the summer, but you don't gel a team just in a few weeks of training camp. It's about getting minutes on the pitch together, playing together, winning together, but losing together as well, and then correcting work in the training sessions that you have in the midweeks in Carrington to try and get ready for the next week. As you say, the positives have been both against Bristol and, of course, the agonising defeat here against Gloucester. Very narrow defeats, which on another day could have been victories, and bonus points have been collected. We saw last year Harlequins, who were a team in transition under Paul Gustard, they got themselves up the table with a lot of losing bonus points, and only at the very end tailed off from making the top 4. So it has at least been something, but obviously Steve Diamond's going to be wanting to win games, and a home game against Wasps would be one that he'd look at and think, we've got a good chance with this.
Great insight, and that's, we're so... We can be quite quick to go, we're not doing this, we're not doing that, but I think it's a long-term process. We've got a whole season ahead of us. We're very eager up north. I think we've been very eager to prove to the rugby world how good rugby is up north, and I think being the only Premiership club, apart from Newcastle at opportunity times, it's been quite hard with us. So, but what we are doing here, which is really good, is that we're bringing grassroots rugby through from the whole of the Northwest, and one particular example of that actually is Sale FC, where it's actually been a bit of a two-way street actually, because some players have come that way to Sale Sharks and some Sale Sharks have gone back over, and it just so happens that we went to their training session on Tuesday, which was actually in the same place where we were on Tuesday, so we didn't have to do too much hard work, but we managed to talk to a few people there about what it's like to be playing grassroots rugby and feeding into the larger rugby community.
It's a family club, so we have a hashtag on Twitter which is OneSaleFC, so we're just trying to implement the message that from under 6s right the way through to the first team, we're all one club and we're all working together to be a family club and to be inviting for everyone to say, whether it's first team players going down, coach them and J's doing the guard of honour for the first team running out. It's everyone's involved in the club in some way other than just playing rugby. And that's what we're trying to be. We're trying to be more than just a rugby club. We're trying to be a place where people want to socialise, people want to come down, where people grow up and have fond memories of. Like I do with my rugby clubs, wherever you play, whichever club you're at, you always have fond memories of the people you meet along the way, the journey you have. So, it's really nice to have that portrayal and that image, and that's what we want to build at Sale FC. And like I said, have that kind of family vibe there.
I've had a couple of years here when I was younger. I was at university at Manchester Met with a few other boys that played here at the time. I actually started as the first Colts team here, and when we left school and went to university, I'd played a couple of years here. But then I've been away, been down in, playing down in London for about the last 6-7 years. And I wanted to move back up. I'd spoken to Tony, Keepy, Briggsy and a few other lads here. Jack Morehouse, who was actually here last time I played. And yeah, it was the right fit, great opportunity, playing some great rugby in a very competitive league. We obviously want to be competing near the top, like any team in this league. A lot of teams in the league have put some big investment in, and everyone's searching for those top 4. We're no different. We know we can play a good brand of rugby, and we know that we can compete at the top of this league. So yeah, it's just to climb as high as we can.
We set our targets at the start of the year, and like it is, everyone's in the league, we want to be as high up as we can. Away form is something we struggled with, particularly last season, and unfortunately it doesn't seem to have changed much this season, but it's still very early days, and I think we're sort of, 4th or 5th from bottom, but we win one game, we can end up 6th. Just shows the competitive nature of the league, and like I said, last year was a massive learning curve for us. It was a big step up, and even this year with new teams involved, new signings in place, we're always learning. And like I said, if we can solve a couple of things, we're not far off, we're very close. If we can solve a couple of issues, we can find ourselves hopefully towards the top end of the table. Because that's obviously where I want to be. We want to try and win and get a consistent rate of form. We seem to be in and out of winning and losing at the moment. So once you build 2 or 3 games, that's when you can really get on a roll. So we are learning every week. It is tough every week. There's no such thing as an easy game in this league. You've got to be focused the whole time. But it's a really enjoyable journey we're on, and hopefully, if we keep learning and keep getting better week on week, we can start getting some joy.
How you doing? Welcome to Sale Sharks Live. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. I'm joined by 3 special guests, and we'll have a chat with them soon. We'll make sure if you've got any questions for our special guests, you get into the comment section. I'll read them out to the guys ahead of Sale Sharks vs Wasps. I'm joined by Andy Hughes, Neil Briggs, and I've got Fergus McCrone with me. Gents, how are we?
Very good, thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us on a sort of cold autumn's evening. You can see our breaths, but I'm sure we've all got nice smelling breaths, haven't we? Yeah. It's not smelling yet, is it? So tell us a bit more then, Andy. I'm going to start with you. I've been told to delegate all questions to Andy, is that all right?
Yeah, well done.
Tell us more then about Sale FC. It says about the club as a whole and what you sort of represent, especially you as captain.
Yeah, so I've been involved with the club for the last 3 years. I'm captain through all 3. One thing we really push in the club is being a family club. So we have the hashtags of One Sale FC, more than just a rugby club. So obviously it's a great place for local kids to come down and play, enjoy the rugby, but we try and be more than just that and get involved in the community, get girls involved in the sport and things like that. So we're trying to grow everything that was about rugby, so having the family values, the core values you learn as you come out through the age groups. And a lot of investment in the club. Obviously got a new clubhouse that opened 2 seasons ago, I think it was. So we're moving in the right direction. We're trying to obviously get as good as we can on the field. We're also trying to be the best club here off the field as well, and that's where the big impact we're hoping to make.
You can tell Fergus that's why you get Andy to answer the questions.
Exactly, yeah.
Great start. Fergus, how long have you been involved in Sale FC?
First season back, I had a couple of seasons when I was at university, about 9-10 years ago. But yeah, it's great to be back. So first one.
And Neil, you at Sale FC, you said you might be sort of focused on how good we're looking in the corner there. Are we looking good? Make sure you comment in the YouTube comments. We're looking all right, aren't we? What about your involvement, Neil?
It's my third. I'm the forwards coach at Sale FC. It's my 3rd season involved. I finished playing the Sharks three seasons ago, or 4 seasons ago, and then I came and played Sale FC. Transition year, and then supposed to stop coaching after that year, and ended up being forced back into it last season. And I've definitely hung the boots up this time. So Tuesday, Thursday night, I ended up watching these lads.
Is he alright as a coach?
We go through the paces.
You've got to sort of say that,
He's gentle, very gentle. Very gentle.
Very gentle.
Yeah.
And you mentioned briefly about different parts of the club. So you've got sort of all range groups. You say you've got a male team and even get females involved. What do the different parts of the team do?
Yeah, so we've got millions of juniors from under 6s all the way through up to under 18s. We also now obviously have a women's team that we were on last week, the 1861, which is a joint venture between Sharks and ourselves. So now the women's section. We also have a Trafford Girls Club, which is the M&Js for the girls that run on a Monday. So also try and get age groups through that as well, and obviously we've got the men, so we're trying to cover all three bases, and I'd say increase the exposure for rugby for that in the sort of Trafford area.
Yeah, and you're involved in the women's team. Are you the coach?
Yeah, I am. I'm the video art women's team, so the rugby bosses they call me, also I'm in a bad mood all the time, but no, it's my first year doing it. It's the first time we've been in the league this year, and we're doing really well. We've made a good start. There's a long way to go, obviously. We have 14 league games this season, the cup involved as well, so whilst it's great to have that kind of challenge, as I said, it gets harder, and it's the first time, so everything's a new experience for me and for the ladies. But no, we train as well down at Carrington, and I normally go over after the men have done their bit, and vent off everything from my session to the women's session. But no, it's been a really good, exciting start, and hopefully it's the start of a good journey.
What's the transition like then when you're teaching and you're captain of the male side to coaching into the women's team? How do you find that transition, or is it just the same, just a game of rugby?
I get taught to more by the women, funnily enough. But yeah, obviously it's a different culture in the rugby itself. While rugby is, kind of the same for a lot of people, there is a different way of how you speak to each other and how they respond to certain things. I'm not sure Briggs's methods will go down too well with the women's, but no, it is a challenge. But they've got the hunger, they've got the desire, as the men do, obviously, to be the best they can be, improve it week on week. So it's a really exciting thing to work with, and I enjoy it. It's nice to stand back from the side and have to get my ears pulled every week because I've only got one going a bit dodgy. So no, it's good, and I'm looking forward to see where we are at the end of the season.
Class. Like I said, we're going to speak to Andy, Neil, and Fergus all this build up to the game that we're at the AJ Bell Stadium. Please get your comments in. I'll read some of them after a little message from our sponsor.
Welcome back. I'm just luckily you'll be back to the studio in a second. I hate it when people look up at like that. I think there's a ball coming my way. We'll be back to the studio in a second. Any more questions for the guys? Hashtags, comments below. Hashtag Sharks Live. I'm quite lucky to be joined out of the air-conditioned splendour of inside to this lovely warm Baltic outside by Sam James. Sam, thanks for seeing this. You must be frustrated not being out there, but tell us a little bit what it's like to get ready for a Friday night fixture.
No, of course. I mean, it's kind of excitement build-up, really. You've got to kind of keep yourself under wraps, if anything. So it's obviously different to a Saturday. You've got a lot longer to wait. So I think, hopefully the boys will show it today. I know on a Friday you get that excited that as soon as that whistle blows, you want to get out those blocks and you want to get all the pent-up energy that you've just saved throughout the day out and take down some Wasps tonight. So.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking about frustrations a little bit before as well. I mean, fans, we want great wins every time, and it just takes a while to get things going sometimes. But we're finishing with bonus points. We're doing okay, I think. There must be, when you've come off the back of something like Bristol, the lads must be really eager to go, and there must be a good energy in the camp. Can you allude to that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's a bit frustrating at the moment how we're bouncing from a nearly win back here against Gloucester to smashing London Irish away, and then going back to Bristol and kind of having a downside again. So, I mean, it's building. That's all it is. It's just a few missing bricks, and then I think everything will kind of click. But it's a long season. We have to take those points away from home. Last week we'd be looking at it saying, yes, we'd like to win those games, but a bonus point away from home is going to be hard to find in a tough Premiership. So we're looking at it as a positive, and then moving on to the week, it's just kind of focusing on us. I mean, we've kind of taken forward a mantra from pre-season to 90% on us, 10% on them. So I think nothing changes, no matter win, loss or draw. So really excited to kind of focus on us and see what we can do.
We're quite lucky to have a fan base that are really kind of understanding of how hard we work and stuff like that. And how important is it for you as a player to have those fans down here at these home games?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's a massive lift. You only have to look at Wasps last season when we won on that last try of the game. The lift from the fans, you can hear it afterwards, and during that last phase of play, it's electric, and it kind of buzzes you up and makes you carry that extra yard forward, or makes you make that extra big hit. So it's massive to hear the guys, whether it's Friday night or Saturday.
Kind of want to go do another 80 minutes after the buzz of that. No. I wouldn't want to do that.
I'm pretty much off my feet. I'm crawling around here after the game.
Sam, do you think there's an element in this kind of early season inconsistency that you've alluded to about the team just gelling and bedding in all the new faces?
I think so, yeah, and it kind of weather permitting as well. I mean, it's terrible conditions last week against Bristol, so it's kind of, they obviously know how to play their home ground a little bit better than us. So, but like I say, it's all focused on us, so it's all about what we can improve, not what they did. So a couple of people changing in and out every week, obviously, which is what it's going to be until we find our sort of starting 15 or the boys that can gel. But you look across the board now, we've got at least 3 positions where we're backed up by high quality players. So it's kind of, we've got to kind of now be used to swapping in and out and just keep that level where it is. So I'm excited to see what the boys are going to do tonight, because they've obviously been really angry about the last week's result all week. So I think they're going to take it out tonight.
You mentioned that Bristol know how to play their own ground better. Just help us understand a little bit, Sam, because from a supporter's point of view, you'd think, why is there such a big difference between playing home or playing away? It's still the same pitch, it's the same rules, apart from it looking a little bit different. What really changes from a player's perspective when you're on the road?
It's just obviously there's the journey down and sitting in a hotel and not having the comforts of your own home and your family and stuff like that. But it's just, there's little things that you don't notice. Like, I've only noticed it since I've been kicking for touch, but JC does a great job with the kickers, pointing out different things about different stadiums. Like Gloucester's has a funny way of it runs perfectly in line with the touchline until the last 22 metres, where it kind of fades away, which gives you kind of a false illusion, I guess. And all different grounds are the same. There'll be a wind coming in from one direction. They'll prefer to play different halves. So, and you get to train on it every week, whereas we're there one night a year. So it's kind of on your home turf. You kind of expect more from yourselves. And the quality, like I alluded to before, the quality in the Premiership nowadays, we're not going to have any easy games, so it's going to be hard all over. So we've got to bring that intensity every week.
And you alluded to it before, the key, that extra man, that extra people around you. If you've got one key message to tell our fans at home, who could probably still make kick-off, I reckon, if they're watching it, is there anything key you want to tell the fans at home?
Get yourself down. As you can see, it's not actually that cold, because I've been stood outside here now for 20 minutes and I'm still fine, and I'm sure, I'm pretty positive it's going to be a hell of a game. So the excitement levels are building, not only from me but from the boys, so get yourselves down.
That's hard as nails, this man, trust me. Yeah, he's actually hard as nails. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate it as always. We're going to go with a quick message from the sponsors, and then we'll head back over to Joe, I think.
So welcome back to Sale Sharks Live on Facebook and YouTube as well. If you've not already, hit like on Sale Sharks Facebook so you can never miss these live streams, and we do it before every single game. I'm here with Sale FC. I've got Andy, Fergus and Coach Neil. So we're just going to talk about Sale now. For you guys, how's the season been so far? Who's going to take you?
Yeah.
Fergus.
No, it's been inconsistent for us. I suppose the playing group probably a little disappointed with some of the losses that we've had, especially last week. We thought we had it in the bag for about 75 minutes and then let it slip away at the end. But we've had some really good performances at home against Blackheath and Cambridge. But we're just kind of looking to build some form, try and take it away from home, and get on the road and get some wins.
Just building form for you as a player. So obviously every game you take as it comes. But when you've got a bit of form behind you, does that help you as a player?
Yeah, it does. I mean, we're very much a new team at the moment. A lot of new players this year, and so kind of forging relationships. And then once you find the form, it does help.
Yeah, Andy, when you're taking them defeats as captain, what's it like in the dressing room? What's it like getting the team ready for the next outing, for the next game?
Well, so defeats are always tough. When you walk back into the changing room and you can hear a pin drop, a lot of lads are very quiet, sort of contemplate the game, and everyone thinks he can do a little bit better, and everyone's dreading Briggy's review on Tuesday when he starts putting names up on the board. But obviously it is gutting. But the great thing about this is you have a week to put it right again, and the boys are always hungry to get back on winning ways, and everyone obviously wants to get that win and work hard for during the week and address what we need to change. But prior to the game, you can see it when the boys are ready. You don't really need to say too much. The head's already ready for the game, and so hopefully it's just a little bit of guidance we can get the win at the end of the day. But we've got so many experienced players in the team. It's really easy. Everyone sort of takes charge of their own performance, and the senior group do obviously help out the game as well. So I often look to Ferg for a bit of advice, use his knowledge and experience, and go from there. So it's a good. It's tough to take, but it's exciting to get the challenge back on the week after.
Yeah, Neil, the review side of things, is that important when you reflect on a game, if it's win or a defeat? Do you find that helps you as a coach, and even when you were playing?
Yeah, no, it's massive. So we strive to make it as open and honest and professional environment as it possibly can be, even though the majority of our players are semi-pro. We've got proper day jobs and they come in Tuesday, Thursday night and play on a Saturday in a tough competition. So part of that review, the preview and review process is massive in terms of our learning and having to learn quick because we've got another game on Saturday to turn around. So part of being an open and honest environment is sometimes chucking out some criticism or home truth. On the flip side, it's cheering the boys up and giving them a pat on the back and saying, this worked.
Is the aims for Sale FC then? They've not changed because of the features, still got the same sort of purpose that you want to sort of tackle this season?
Obviously the aim is most teams in the league is finish as high as we can. Obviously we like to have a good representation ourselves, and like I said, over that a few games left, there's quite a lot of games still left this season, so we take it week by week. Obviously we preview each opponent and give them the respect they deserve. It's a tough league, there's no such thing as an easy game, but the end goal is obviously to finish as high up the table as we can, and if we can improve on last year, it just shows that we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, Fergus, you see that when you get the review we were just talking about then, do you find it sort of ideal for you as a player?
Yeah, no,
it's your communication between you two that I haven't touched on a bit.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a good job start to finish, and process we go through week on week. At the moment we had the review on a Tuesday night, like I said before, we have some honest and frank conversations if we're not up to par, and the stuff we can do to correct it for the following week. It's good. I suppose, like I said, we're still forging new relationships on the pitch and getting to know each other off the pitch as well, which has also been a bit of a good thing at the start of the season with socials and things like that.
We're going to talk a bit more about this game going on behind us here. Get your comments in on Facebook and YouTube, but another message from our sponsor.
Quiz, query, try, spy, take cover, go for a swim, go on a whim, go outside in, and inside out. Look once, look twice. Follow a compass, not a clock. Never stop discovering. Our game is about protection. for businesses and communities. Helping the people who guide and nurture, who inspire and support, who commit and deliver, helping to protect all those in our community who are just like us and who deserve the best. This is the Gallagher way.
Look at that magical bit of work. Fabulous score for the Sharks.
Saracens European champions.
As a player,
He's been outstanding for scoreboard taking over, but also particularly because obviously Joe part of the game. I get you best runners in world rugby currently, Calder. I also want to see the hooker. Flow gets to the outside. Lovely.
Stop celebrating! Shomerton, look at it, it's brand new and shiny. Oh!
Okay, welcome back everybody. Just as I was having a chat over there, I'm going to have a chat. I've come into the headquarters of the Shell Sharks fan base in the South Stand. I'm quite lucky to be joined some fans. You're in early, which is great, which is what we want to see more of. Just give us your opinion on the past couple of games, what you feel, what you think, where it's going for you as a fan.
We need internationals back, don't we? Until that happens, the playing field's not level yet. I don't know. We'll see.
When you obviously you're coming down watching these games, what's it like? When they're running towards us, what's the atmosphere for you? Why do you come?
It's fantastic, isn't it? The big fella with the drum starts going. Is he here yet?
He's not here yet. I want to have a go with that drum later on. Actually,
big fella with the drum. The crowd starts going. It's fantastic. You can't beat it. The pitch is superb. Look at that. It's absolutely lovely. If they could just turn the heating on, that would help.
He's lying. It's absolutely gorgeous here. Yeah, I'll be wearing sunglasses otherwise. Actually, you're right about the pitch. It's fantastic, and there's no reason for this Wasps team not to come off the bus and join us here. That's the whole point, isn't it? When we look at where we've come as a team, though, as a club as well, it must be great seeing some of these great players all of a sudden.
It's fantastic. I know that Sale are really up for it. I used to coach a team over on the Wirral, and we'd come over and do the pre-game. So we'd be training on the far side, meet one of the players, then come over and sit. So the whole idea, the community rugby, it's brilliant. And these are players who used to come over and do it then, and here they are now.
All right, let's have a chat. Should we have a chat with them? Which team in Wirral?
Coldy.
Oh, Coldy. I've played rugby at Coldy before, a long time ago. Very windy in Coldy. So you did some of the community stuff before. How long ago? Like last year? You don't look that old.
It was ages.
You don't look that old, to be honest.
We're looking most probably something like under 12, something like that. So 6 years ago, something like that.
When I was littler.
What's that like to be attached or connected to a club like Shell Sharks as a kid?
Oh, you just find it great fun, really. Just coming on to it, it's just a laugh, really, and you feel honoured almost.
And you're playing for Coldy still?
Not anymore.
No. I'm not playing anymore. Is there a reason why you're not playing anymore?
It's because of my school. I can't play for them anymore.
Right, got you. Yourself?
So I can't play for club anymore at school, so...
Right. See, I've given up rugby for different reasons, I'm afraid. I know, but it'd be nice to get back into it. The walking rugby, that's the thing. They do that in the community stuff as well, which is great. So, listen, thank you for taking some time. Really appreciate it. I'm going to take a little walk down here. If you come with me, let's see if we can chat to some of these guys. Okay, cheers, cool. Right, don't run away, because I need to ask you a quick question. So, we're just on Facebook and YouTube. We're looking at what it's like being a Sale Sharks fan, actually. Loyalty is a tough thing sometimes, but what's so special about coming down to the ground?
Atmosphere. It is tough, but,
So we're talking about how tough it was. I mean, Gloucester, that kick it towards the end of Gloucester, the Bristol game. I mean, and then to play against London Irish and win like we did, and then Bristol. How does that? Well, if you can sum that up in the feeling, what would it be?
Disappointing.
Yeah.
Very.
Takes time. What do you think we're going to look forward to today with this Wasps side and playing the way we are? What's your hopes and aspirations?
Probably hopefully a good bounce back. Big performance would be good to see. Obviously we don't always get the numbers here, but give people a reason to come and turn out, I suppose.
Well, that's it. I think when winning ways, it's great to see, and I think that definitely brings more people in, doesn't it? But we've got some people to combat yet. A couple of budgie smuggling wearing people. Yeah, maybe that'll help us a little bit. If you could give some messages to those fans that aren't quite here yet. I mean, how long have we got till kick off? It's about another 15 minutes. I think the bridge is clear. It won't take them long to get over here, will it? What message could...
We've come from Derby.
Wow.
So,
okay. How long did that take you to go over?
About hour and a half, 40 minutes.
And it's worth coming, even though, I mean, loyalty, I keep saying loyalty's hard, even win or lose, it's a great atmosphere to be here. Surely, if you're going to travel all that way.
We keep making effort, we've been coming for a few years, so keep coming up.
When the only other close team's Leicester Tigers, and we are not going there.
We're not going over there. No, you're right. Actually, no, we won't go over there. Listen, guys, thank you very much for taking the time. If you want to come, if you just take a look over there, Andy, quickly. Just take a look over here, Andy, just to your side. We'll come and chat to this guy in a bit. Just over there on the stairs. There's our guy with the drum. We'll go and have a chat with him a little bit later. But now, Joe, we're going to go back to you to chat to the guys from Sale FC.
Hello and welcome. Cheers, Colin, who's over there in the cold, speaking to all the fans and getting their say ahead of tonight's game. And we are going to speak a bit more about tonight's game. We're here down watching it. What are we expecting, Andy, from tonight's clash against Wasps?
Oh, it's always a good encounter. Obviously, the Sharks made a good start to the season, picked up quite a few points, and obviously now strengthened with McGinty and was welcoming back from the World Cup. It'll be an interesting encounter. Wasps obviously like playing expansive style of rugby and like to run it from a lot of places, but watching the Sharks' defence has been quite good this season, so it should be an interesting encounter and hopefully lots of running rugby. I know it's a little bit bitterly cold, but hopefully that will stop them moving the ball about quite a lot.
Neil, did you see Wasps? What kind of threat do they pose to Sale tonight here? The threat Wasps pose to Sale tonight?
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't think they're going to be hopefully much of a threat up front. I think Sale will be able to dominate in set piece and aerially. I think Wasps' back three are all running threat rather than kicking threat, so I think we'll see quite a few balls go up in the air with a kick pressure from Sale going towards the back three. And after that, I think Wasps will just try and play a bit more territory and try and pay off Sale's mistakes tonight. I don't think they're going to go up here and play the running rugby that Andy really wants to see tonight. And to be honest, I think Sale will just be happy to ram it down there and take as many points as they can.
When you watch this game tonight, is it something you might watch, you might learn from players, or what do you do as a player when you're watching the competition tonight?
Well, I suppose you're looking at the two teams, like the boys just said, Sale's pack. I expect them to dominate, but I suppose backline matchups I'll probably look at being in the centres would be Van Rensburg, Gopeth. Like Van Rensburg being a powerhouse, and Gopeth obviously having a lot of experience, and so that'll be a very good matchup. And then obviously Cam Redpath, youngster coming through, it'll just be good to see what he can produce at home.
During this time, it's moments before the game, going back to the change room, Neil, what's it like as a player in these sort of crucial 10 minutes before the match? I mean, you're laughing, like, is someone saying a couple of words to the boys, or what's happening?
I know what Briggsy's like before the start of the game, that's why. Now everything's been done now, so now all the team stuff's been done, all the prep, you spoke about what you're doing before the warm-up in terms of reflection on the week, just the key messages. Now the players will go back in and it'll be personal time for 7 minutes, 3 minutes before you have to come out onto the pitch. And that time is spent doing whatever players do. Some players go in the corner and pray, some players will be beating their chest and banging their head on the wall. Some players will just want a bit of peace and quiet. And after that, they'll get together and the captain will say his last few words, and then
it's up to you guys. A quick one from you. Sale Sharks win tonight.
100%.
100%. 100%. Yeah. Right, we've been. You've been Sale. Thank you very much for coming up and chat with us. We've got Andy, Ferguson, Neil. We're going to pass over now to Colin and all the build-up. We're going to hear commentary, by the way, to Sale Sharks versus Wasps on the Facebook Live. So if you can't watch the game, if you can't get to it on BT, make sure you're listening. If you're in the stadium as well, we'll be doing this before every single game, bringing you massive previews. So thank you very much for watching. And I think we can go back to Colin. I think BT. No, a lovely BT.
Lost forwards, and now here's the opportunity, and it's going to be a run in here for Sale.
Here it is, a little kick pass out to Solomona. That could work. How can he finish? Denny Solomona, what's the bounce like? Slides in. That's a lovely score.
Welcome back to the best team in the world, South Sharks. I'm Marlon Yarde. Anyway, I'm only joking. I mean, like I said, I'm still in the HQ. This is where the hardcore South Sharks fans are. I always walk through every now and then and get shouted at all the time, but I'm lucky enough to be joined by some fans. Going to have a quick chat just quickly before kick-off, guys. Thanks for taking the time to chat. I do appreciate it. Just a little insight so far. What we feeling? Good, happy, bad, sad? What's the general atmosphere?
Good league table, good in the league. Yeah, looking forward to this game, really. Yeah, we're good.
So for myself as a fan, I was a bit frustrated. I was like, I want to beat Gloucester. I want to, then we had a great win against London Irish, and then Bristol, but then I sort of thought to myself, well, actually, we're losing bonus points here. We're actually gaining some stuff here that we didn't gain before. That must be encouraging.
It's a good year this year. And hopefully the lads from the World Cup come back, and we've got a good in Europe and that. So yeah, it should be good. Should be interesting.
And yourself, as a fan, is it important to see this place full?
Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we go to Old Trafford, but this is like better than Old Trafford really with all the. We don't have the money side of it sometimes, but this should be good tonight anyway. Should be good.
And how is it important really to be surrounded by a great fan base? We try and look down there. What is the atmosphere really like in here? We're in amongst it all.
Good atmosphere. Yeah, it's good fun. You can stand up, you have a beer if you want a beer, and yeah, it's good fun. I'd rather stand up than sit down.
Well. Especially if you sit down all day at work. Just a little bit about Friday nights, because it's always people look at Friday nights, not sure about it. What's your take on Friday night rugby?
Quite happy. Yeah, we live in Lancaster, so we come down from Lancaster. It's makes a change on a Saturday afternoon, really. So you can go out on a Saturday. It's good. Yeah, Fridays is good.
We were talking to Sam James a little bit earlier, Pitchside, about how you prepare for a game, a 3 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday. Is there a different way you guys prepare for a Saturday versus a Friday night game?
Just get driving down. I think that's all it is. But Saturday you can maybe have a look after, see what are the scores. But on Friday, you get to enjoy the scores all fully in full action tomorrow.
Where's home for you guys? Where do you come in from?
Lancaster.
Sorry, you did say that before. I wasn't listening properly. I do apologise.
Used to live in Sale many moons ago. Played for Sale many moons ago. But we live in Lancaster now.
So thank you very much for making that effort. We really do appreciate it. I think if you had one key message really, or anything to say to the fans that didn't quite make it, I don't know, I mean, I've said this joke about 10 times now. The bridge is clear, so they could probably rush over if they wanted to. But if there was a key message you could tell the fans at home why they should be here, what do you think it is?
Better than football.
Yes, that'll do better than football. I love it. Guys, thanks very much. I really appreciate it. We'll come and catch you again soon, okay? Just quickly, though, before we do go back over to the other side, we've got the Sale FC man here. Hello, sir. How are you doing? I've just thought I'd come up here quickly to see you. So whenever you come to a Sale Sharks game, we're always looked after very well by this man here. Hello, what's your name?
Colin.
That's my name. That's my name. I'm Colin as well.
We're all lovely people.
Collins are absolutely lovely people. Yeah. Collins do it best. Of everything, Collins are always great, so well done. So it had to be a Colin. How long have you been banging that for?
Oh, God knows, about 10, 12 years, something like that.
Can I have a go at that? Yeah. So is there any particular way you've got to do it?
Sail!
Okay, right, here we go. I'm gonna muck this up now, aren't I? Okay, hit it here, it's fine.
Sail!
Ah, there we go. Not bad. Again.
Yeah.
Oh, right, brilliant. I can deputise for you. Not yet, no, because I've got a.
You're younger and fitter than I am.
Not really. No. It's been a long day.
Oh my God.
So I do apologise, Cole. It was absolutely fantastic to meet you. Thank you so much. Really great to see you. It was great. We had the Sale FC lads in the studio before as well. We had Fergus. We had all the other guys.
Brilliant.
So that was great to see as well.
Right.
I'm going to hand over now to Chris Malband.
Are you going to do the shot of me and the budgie smugglers?
Only if we win the Premiership, right? I'll stand there with you. Oh no, I won't. No, I'm not doing it. I'm going to hand over to Chris Malband and Ollie Lathrop before kick-off. Over to you guys.
What about his long
Evening, everybody. Welcome to the AJ Bell Stadium. It's a dry, a chilly, but overall a good night for rugby as Sale and Wasps prepare to do battle in the fourth round of the Gallagher Premiership. Both sides, having won one of their opening 3 games, will be keen to ensure that at the end of round 4 they are 2 wins and 2 defeats, which would represent a pretty decent start, I think, to the season. They're 6th and 7th in the table respectively. Little to choose between the teams, you would suggest. It is, of course, our Remembrance Day fixture here today. We have a minute's applause around the stadium now, and we have Coops, who is delivering the ball pitchside. We saw him alongside Craig from the Sale Community Department, Craig Monaghan, building up to this evening's game, and great to have Coops with us here today to pass the ball to the players as they run past him in just a few moments' time. If we look at the Sale team tonight, 4 changes from the 15 who were defeated at Ashton Gate last Friday night. Ambrose Papier comes in to start for the first time at scrum half. Aka van der Merwe's in for Rob Wepper at hooker. Cooney Oosthuizen comes in for Jake Cooper-Woolley at tight head prop. And Ben Curry, back from watching his brother in the World Cup final, he comes in to open side flanker in place of Jean-Luc Duprier. So the Sale team in full: Simon Hammersley at fullback, Marlon Yarde and Byron McGuigan on the wings, Cam Redpath and Rohan Janse van Rensburg in the centre, Ambrose Papier at scrum half and Rob Duprier at number 10. Ross Harrison, Aka van der Merwe and Cooney Oosthuizen are the front row. Josh Beaumont and Bryn Evans in the engine room. John O'Ross, the captain, back on the blind side with Ben Curry at open side and Dan Duprier at number 8. The bench for Sale tonight: Rob Webber, Valerie Morozov, Jake Cooper-Woolley, James Phillips, Jean-Luc Duprier, Will Cliff, AJ McGinty and Luke James. Brother Sam is still sidelined with injury. Wasps include 3 ex-Sale men in their starting lineup tonight. Paolo Adogwu returns to the AJ Bell on the left wing, whilst loosehead prop Simon McIntyre had 5 appearances for the Sharks back in 2011. Tommy Taylor played a lot more than that, over 100 times in fact, in the blue and white. He hooks tonight for Wasps. But before we get underway, as I mentioned, we will have a minute's silence and a chance to remember the fallen from the conflicts of recent times. Immaculately observed minutes silence as we approach Remembrance Sunday this weekend. And referee Tom Foley, resplendent tonight in a bright pink shirt, blows his whistle to draw it to a close. So just to confirm the Wasps team in full: Matteo Minozzi at fullback, Zach Kiribiga and Paolo Adogwu on the wings, Juan de Jong and Jimmy Gopeth in the centre, Lima Sopoaga at outside half, Dan Robson, their captain, at scrum half. Simon McIntyre, Tommy Taylor and Kieran Brooks the front row, Charlie Matthews and Will Rowlands at lock, Brad Shields, Nizam Carr and Sione Violanu the back row for Wasps. Alongside me tonight, Ollie Lathrope. Ollie, your thoughts ahead of this one?
Well, I'm very excited, Chris. I'm expecting a good matchup. Two good sides who haven't quite got started as they would have hoped, but tonight's a chance to put that right. I know Sale have lost twice so far, but they haven't played badly, and I think tonight, in front of a home crowd, they've got a real chance to get back on track.
Well, Sale will go from right to left as we look out from the AJ Bell stand in this first half. And the dropout from Rob Dupree is fielded by Paolo Adogwu inside his 22. Wasps in their change kit tonight of all bright yellow, in possession from the first ruck. Little pop pass from Dan Robson to former Harlequin Charlie Matthews, who drives into the first ruck. Solid initial possession for the visitors from Coventry. Wasps, of course, ceasing to be based from London for some seasons now, having their base in the Midlands and having worked out pretty well, all things considered, attracting a new fan base in Coventry. And Robson clears up field with a Faf du Clerc-esque box kick. It's going to lead to the first line out of the game, 5 metres inside the Wasps half. First chance for Aka van der Merwe to throw in. He's been super dynamic in his play around the park in a Sale shirt so far. Can he get his line out really functioning tonight? Well, the first one is a good throw, which is taken by Dan Dupree in the middle. So Sale secure first ball on the line out, 5 metres inside the Wasps half, and just starting to get a bit of a drive on at the maul. Papier feeds now Janse van Rensburg, who cuts back inside, and Sale forwards support him in the ruck. Papier feeds again, short to John O'Ross, who takes the ball without a huge amount of momentum, bang on halfway, and looks to try and recycle. Now Rob Dupree tries to kick behind Paolo Adogwu, but Adogwu fields that comfortably and hammers it back upfield, deep into the Sale 22. Marlon Yarde coming across from right wing, collects this one and decides to kick, and Yarde launches that one into the Printerland stand, but that gives Wasps a net gain from that exchange of kicking. We're going to have a Wasps line out halfway between the Sale 10-metre line and the Sale 22.
I think Wasps will be happy with that. They defended relatively well from Sale there, who had a good line out. The line out wasn't great last week, but that was a good one to start. But Wasps won that mini duel there, as you said, Chris, and they'll be happy. An attacking opportunity not far from the Sale 22.
So first throw of the night for Tommy Taylor. Popular figure when he was here at Sale, but we're going to have that throw again. Jack Foley not happy with the gap between the two sets of forwards. Steve Diamond said of Tommy Taylor when he left, I'm not sure it's going to do his international aspirations a huge amount of good going to Wasps. He has had the one cap, Taylor, but some way back in the pecking order now in the hooker position as Wasps look to drive through the middle of the park for the first time, and they get away through De Jong. De Jong does well to feed Gopeth. Penalty though coming to Sale at the breakdown. Holding on the floor. De Jong holding on too long, and Tom Foley quick on the whistle as De Jong fails to release quickly enough, which will give Sale the chance to clear through Rob Dupree.
Well, we saw throughout the World Cup, Chris, what Tom Curry could do on the floor, and we saw it there from Ben, getting over the ball. The man unable to release, and a penalty to Sale. Sale missed that a little bit last week when Ben was over watching Tom at the World Cup, of course, but a great moment for him to start tonight.
Well, I'm sure Ben Curry will have sat there in Yokohama last Saturday and thought, I want to get that white shirt back on again. Six Nations, of course, will be the next opportunity. No autumn internationals this year with the World Cup having just concluded, and I'm sure Ben Curry will be keen to follow his brother into the England back row. Another Sale line out then for van der Merwe to throw into in the 4th minute here at the AJ Bell, and van der Merwe picks out Josh Beaumont to secure clean ball again for Sale from that line out, and van der Merwe out the back finds Papier, who launches an up and under. First chance for Zach Kibariga to come in from his wing. Can Kibariga secure ball? Yes, he can. Clean catch and sets it up well, though the ruck is quite messy, and Sale have a penalty.
offside is given by referee Foley, and there's a bit of afters. Dupree and Ross involved there. It's getting a bit spicy in the early stages in and around the breakdown, but Sale, when all this settles down, will have a penalty for offside, and you'd think Rob Dupree has a golden opportunity to kick Sale into a 3-0 lead.
I think Steve Diamond will be delighted with this start, Chris. There's a bit of an edge about this Sale performance. They haven't given an inch so far. Penalty down there for Tom Curry, a penalty here. John O'Ross at the heart of things. So I think Steve Diamond will be really happy Sale look up for this so far. And 5 minutes in, they've had the better of the match.
Yes, really bright start from Ben Curry, back in the side today, having made his short trip to and fro Japan. And a positive start, as Ollie was saying, from the home side. Don't forget, you can get in touch throughout the broadcast tonight. Hashtag Sharks Live through social media. Ollie and I will have the opportunity to read out some of your tweets and messages. Hashtag Sharks Live, whether you're in the stadium or listening to us at home. Always good to hear from people listening all over the world. We know we have fans of Sale Sharks scattered far and wide, so if you're listening in a foreign land where it's perhaps some ungodly hour or the local language doesn't tend to speak rugby, always good to hear where you are getting behind your side. The stadium is hushed for the first penalty attempt of the night. We're in the 5th minute. Rob Dupree, number 10 on the back of his two-tone blue shirt, looking towards the terrace at the left-hand end of the stadium as you look out from the main stand. Steadies himself about 30 metres out from goal, 20 metres or so in from the left-hand touchline. He'd fancy his chances, you'd think. Here comes Dupree. It looks a good connection. It's straight and true. And Rob Dupree gives Sale the perfect start in the 6th minute here at the OJ Bell. It is Sale Sharks 3, Wasps 0.
I'm sure Rob Dupree will be delighted with that. Yeah, he missed a kick here, of course, in the final minute against Gloucester, but he settled well here. He converts that one with ease, and an excellent start for Sale finally shows on the scoreboard.
Rohan Janssen van Rensburg fields the Wasps restart. Once again, Sale looking steady on their own ball. It's been a tidy start, as Ollie Lathrope has mentioned, from the home side as Papier launches an up and under. Byron McGuigan in pursuit of this one. Up against Zach Kibariga, and Kibariga secures possession for his side. The ball pops short to Simon McIntyre. Dynamic loose head prop with over 150 appearances for Wasps as a crossfield kick picks out Adogwu. Adogwu tries to link play wide on the left-hand side, but he's bundled into touch by Marlon Yarde. And a penalty is coming against Marlon Yarde. And Tom Foley was straight on the whistle there. And Simon Hammersley is jogging off. Well, he's going to have 10 minutes in the bin here. So as Adogwu was tackled initially by Yarde, Hammersley was part of the incident as well. Let's just have another look on this. Well, it looked fairly innocuous for a yellow card. The ball was pumped over the top to Adogwu. Yarde came in with the challenge. It was for deliberate knock-on against Simon Hammersley as the ball was thrown back inside. And so Hammersley, for his deliberate knock-on, will have 10 minutes in the bin. And this suddenly, Ollie Lathrope, puts the Sale defence under a bit of pressure. Get your thoughts in just a moment with this line out to come as Taylor throws in deep for Wasps, who have a one-man advantage for the next 10 minutes. It's a neatly executed line out, and now the Wasps maul can form. They look to drive forward towards the Sale line. Sale going backwards at the moment, and Wasps will sense a real opportunity here. Nizam Carr picks up at the back, and still Wasps go on. They're driving towards the line. Sale in real trouble here. It must be a score. Yes, it is. And Wasps driving maul. Sale never got under it. Never looked like they were going to stop the momentum. And a driving maul results in a try for the visitors, and that was a little bit soft, really. Suddenly Hammersley heading off into the sin bin, and a relatively straightforward piece of execution leads to a try for the visitors. And Sione Violanu, the number 8, I think it was, at the back of that maul, dots down. It's now Sale Sharks 3, Wasps 5.
Well, Wasps will be delighted with that. After doing very little for the first 5 minutes, they've really grown into the game, Chris. And obviously we saw Hammersley get sin-binned, and from the result and line-out from that penalty, they drove and drove and drove. Sale could do absolutely nothing about it, and Wasps just went in under the post. It was an excellent maul. It never really looked like stopping, and Sale couldn't do much about it, and Wasps have a 7-3 lead.
Conversion comes from Lima Sopoaga, the former All Black fly half. 16 times an All Black Sopoaga, a very high-profile signing for the visitors when he arrived last season. So Sale suddenly have some thinking to do now, having looked totally assured for the first 6 minutes or so. Suddenly find themselves a man down and 7-3 down on the scoreboard. Restart comes from Rob Dupree. A knock-on, though, coming from the Wasps' attempt at gathering, and then sloppy, really, from a Wasp perspective, as they concede an offside penalty as a consequence of the knock-on. All very poor execution, and I'm sure will not please Dai Young to see such a soft penalty conceded by his side from a restart. And there's a chance for Rob Dupree to immediately chip into that Wasps lead and potentially reduce it to a point. He's going to have a shot at goal from the resultant penalty.
Well, perfect for Sale there. Obviously a man down. You want to try and chew up the clock as much as possible. Poor exits there from Wasps. Didn't take the kick off and then conceded the penalty. And this is perfect opportunity here for Rob Dupree to run that clock down a bit and in the process cut the Wasps lead.
So Dupree this time will be on the right-hand side, less favoured really for a right-footed kicker. About 10 metres or so inside from the right touchline. Get your thoughts in a minute, Ollie, on whether that was a bit harsh on Simon Hammersley. I guess the decision Tom Foley had to make were, what were the chances of Wasps taking advantage of Adogwu's field position and ultimately scoring at the point at which Hammersley deliberately knocked on? He was in no doubt, though, Tom Foley. The yellow card came very quickly. But here's Dupree with a chance to reduce the lead to just a point. 10 metres in from the right touchline, 10 yards or so outside the 22. Dupree steadies himself now. Good night for kicking, you'd think. And he launches this one high, but pulls it. He's not able to take advantage, Dupree, of the opportunity. And Dupree's missed penalty means that Sale remain 4 points behind. And Ollie, I think Rob Dupree will be disappointed to have not slotted that one.
Yeah, it was a good chance, Chris, to reduce the lead, especially after that first one. You know, when you get a penalty in the opposition half, you do want to take as many chances as you can. And he just edged it to the left, and unfortunate for Sale there.
Sopoaga restarts. It's fielded by Papier, who finds Dupree, who launches a huge up and under. And Ambrose Papier, the man from the Bulls, is in pursuit of that. But Sale themselves now find themselves offside. A number of Sale players chasing the Dupree kick, who were in front of the kicker. And again, really a basic mistake to concede an offside penalty from that position. It did seem there was a whole army of blue shirts chasing that kick, and Tom Foley judging that many of those in pursuit had done so from in front of the kicker. So easy penalty to give from a refereeing point of view, and Wasps will quite happily take up the yardage, and we'll have a line out just inside the Sale 10-metre line.
Another chance here for Wasps, Chris. They probably have not had the better of this so far, but they're ahead on the score sheet by 7 points to 3, and they're just doing the basics very well. You know, if you can get your set piece right in rugby, as we all know, it can be a very easy game. So they'll be delighted with how this is going so far, and they want to take advantage of this one-man advantage that they have.
Wasps secure possession from the line-out. Decent, clean catch, which Robson then releases to De Jong in midfield, and the high tackle comes in, and that's trouble for John O'Ross. You'd think that looked really high, and Sale could be down to 13 men here. Right on halfway, Ross went in for the tackle. Now the only thing that might mitigate was whether Tommy Taylor ducked into the tackle a bit. It didn't look too good from first sight. Taylor is still down. Now Tom Foley does have a TMO, Stuart Tahij, tonight, to whom he can turn. We're just having an opportunity to have a look at this on the big screen, but that looked high from Ross. And Tom Foley just going to consult with touch judge Andrew Jackson, who is on the far side in front of the Printerland stand. Now Sale could be in real trouble here if they go down to 13 men.
Yeah, it was head on head, Chris, and you could see Ross was trying to go low, but he just couldn't get down far enough. It's head on head, and as you said, Tom Foley's having a look at this now, and he could be in some trouble here, Johnny Ross.
I think one of the questions is, could this be a red card? Obviously in the World Cup we've seen sendings off given, and there was a clear dictate from World Rugby early in the competition when a couple of decisions were not resulting in the cards that were felt to be appropriate against the application of the new laws, and this will be anxious times for John O'Ross. If he sees red here, then Sale have got 68 minutes to see out, down to 14 men. At the moment they're going to be down to 13 until Simon Hammersley returns, so Tom Foley's got to interpret this and see whether or not he saw this as a piece of serious foul play for which a red card should be given, or does he see it as a yellow. The Wasps replacement hooker Tom Cruise is warmed up on the touchline. It's going to be an HIA for Tommy Taylor as per the standard head impact assessment protocol. So he's coming off Taylor. Doesn't look in too bad a state, but will need, of course, to have his HIA. And on goes Tom Cruise for his 50th Premiership appearance for Wasps, a man born locally in Stockport and formerly of the Sale Sharks Academy, Tom Cruise. So we'll feel some sense of a return to familiar territory. Tom Foley still having a good look at the big screen. He's now seen the replay a good 5 or 6 times. It'll be decision time for the experienced Premiership referee. How's he going to see this one? Is he going to be lenient and have some sympathy for John O'Ross, or is there a colour of card to be brandished? Well, Ross is having a discussion with the referee and with Dan Robson, the Wasps captain. And John O'Ross is, I'm sure, a relieved man that no card comes out. Ross will pack down in this scrummage. Foley clearly reaching the conclusion that there was a heavy amount of mitigation through accident in Ross's collision with Tommy Taylor. So Sale remain with 14 men on the field of play. Simon Hammersley has got about another 5 minutes to spend on the touchline before he can return, having been sin-binned. And we have our first scrum of the night. Simon McIntyre and Tommy Taylor, 2 ex-Sale men in the front row. Taylor, of course, having just been withdrawn. So McIntyre and Cruz packed down alongside Kieran Brooks, and they face up to Ross Harrison, Aka van der Merwe and Cooney Oosthuizen, who is on the tight head tonight. He can play on both sides, although played most of his rugby on the loose head, but his versatility, one of the aspects that attracted him to Steve Diamond, and he's packing down on the tight tonight. So first scrum, first chance to see who might have the ascendancy in this set piece. It's a Wasps put-in. The scrum is fairly motionless, looks a pretty even battle at this stage. Wasps, though, starting to get a drive on now as the scrum comes up, and Wasps win the scrum penalty. And it was really a question of a second drive from the Wasp pack there. It looked very even Steven initially, but then the Wasp pack got the drive on, and Sione Vailanu celebrating at the back of the tight 8 for the visitors. And this is going to give Lima Sopoaga the chance to launch a penalty from about 10 yards inside Sale territory, straight in front of the posts.
We saw in Saturday's World Cup final, Chris, how important the set piece is at the line out in the scrum, and so far Wasps have had the better of that. They won that line out that led to the try, and there, as you said, on the second push, they got the penalty, and now a chance for Sopoaga to extend that lead. But I think Wasps will be absolutely delighted of how they've started. They've been consistent, they've carried well, they've won their set piece, and a chance here to go back out to a 7-point advantage.
So Sopoaga, who passed 200 points for Wasps when he collected 15 in their first victory of the season last week at home to Bath, stands over this one. Straight in front, distance will be the question really for the former All Black. Punts off the Highlanders, and he's just adjusting the ball on the tee before making his way back to his kicking mark. Right-footed kicker in all yellow shirt and shorts as the crowd respectfully keeps quiet, and Sopoaga with a very deliberate approach comes forward, thumps the ball into the night sky. Has it got the distance? Yes, it has. That never looked like missing, and Lima Sopoaga takes advantage where Rob Dupree couldn't just a couple of minutes ago and extends his side's lead. It's Sale Sharks 3, Wasps 10.
Well, a great kick there from the fly half. It was straight in front of the post, but it was a fair distance out, and it never really looked quite missing. It sailed over the posts, and Wasps now leads by 10 points to 3.
So a slightly subdued crowd at the AJ Bell at the moment. The first 5 or 6 minutes so encouraging for the Sharks, but then things rather changing round after Simon Hammersley's yellow card as Dupree restarts and Vailanu collects the kickoff. Loose though once again from the exit from Wasps. And Sale turn it over. Are back in possession, perhaps unexpectedly on the Wasps 22, but once more the Sale discipline isn't there. Another penalty is conceded. Lack of release on the floor, and Wasps can take that penalty quickly. Dan Robson with some quick thinking, spots space behind Byron McGuigan. McGuigan has to run back inside his own 22 and collect that ball. Up quickly come De Jong and Gopeth to chase Robson's bit of quick thinking. But Sale have managed to secure the ball. Good work from McGuigan in averting the initial danger. And Papier can now try and get the Sale forwards to go through a few phases inside their 22 and try and give his side a bit of a platform as John O'Ross takes the first short pass. Papier, though, this time goes back and gives Rob Dupree a ball in the pocket, which he decides to smash downfield. And it goes out for a line out 15 metres or so inside Wasps territory. Matteo Minozzi coming across trying to take it. Can't do anything in terms of a quick throw. And Sale avert the initial danger, and we will have a Wasps line out just inside their own half.
Well, that was excellent work from Sale. Firstly from McGuigan, he tracked back well there and the kick didn't quite go out and he had 3 Wasps defenders all over him, but he took the ball into contact. Sale recycled well, and that's an excellent kick from Rob Dupree, taking it past halfway to give Wasps a line out just inside their own half.
Tom Cruise then with his first throw since coming on as replacements. Got Charlie Matthews, the former Harlequin, to aim for in the middle, or Will Rowlands, the other second row, is at the back, and it's actually thrown shorter to Brad Shields, the former England flanker, and he wins ball nicely for Wasps, who then are able to release Violani, who hadn't joined the line, out up through the middle. Good quick recycling once more from the Wasps pack. Last week's victory over Bath has clearly given them an injection of confidence, judging by the first 18 minutes or so, as McIntyre gets a ball to drive forward. His first appearance of the season after a hernia op for the Wasps loose head. And Wasps, though, make a mistake in midfield, and Byron McGuigan can get away. He's looking for support. Can McGuigan pin his ears back? He wants support. He's got it from Dupree. Dupree cuts inside, and Daniel Dupree is able to take advantage, ultimately, of an excellent Byron McGuigan interception. Wasps, I'm afraid, from their perspective, playing a major part in their own downfall. It was De Jong's loose pass, McGuigan's interception, and McGuigan, who kept looking over his shoulder, knew he needed support, got it from Dan Dupree, who showed a neat turn of feet to get past Matteo Minozzi. Sailor in under the posts, and it's the Sharks 8, Wasps 10.
Well, you have to be so careful with Byron McGuigan, Chris. It's not the first time I've seen him do this. He did it last year. He's always sniffing around the ball. It's a great interception from him. It looked like he might get away straight away, but it was good defence from Wasps. But he had some excellent support in Dan Dupree, who goes down to dot down near the post, and the Sharks are back in it.
And brother Rob has the opportunity to square the match, which he absolutely takes. Conversion by Rob Dupree to a try from brother Dan, making it 10 points all after 19 minutes. And Byron McGuigan, ever the opportunist. We're seeing this more and more now, aren't we, Ollie, in both top standard club rugby and international rugby. Players that are gambling, preparing to attack, and are really putting themselves in opposition backlines, looking for that interception. And McGuigan, as you mentioned, one of the masters of that art, and credit to him for having the awareness to look over his shoulder and ensure he had an option. And Dan Dupree, a man who hasn't missed a minute for Sale so far this season, doing what all loose forwards should do, and that's to be alert to opportunities to join the backline, even when they're perhaps a little unexpected. 10 all then, as Papier launches that ball forward. Minozzi comes sprinting forward from fullback, but gets nowhere near to the claim. Wasps, though, do have possession through Robson as he looks to get his backline moving. Minozzi, though, is brought down by Janse van Rensburg. Robson recycles again from scrum half, and the ever-busy Simon McIntyre bursts through the first tackle once again. He's been very prominent in the loose so far. Robson once more. Sopuaga now brings in Will Rowlands. He doesn't get any joy getting past Ross Harrison, though, in midfield. Robson to Kieran Brooks, the former Northampton tight head. We're on the Sale 10-metre line. 10 all after 20 minutes at the AJ Bell. You're listening to Sharks Live with Ollie Lathrop and myself, Chris Malaband, as Sopuaga launches a ball high into the night sky, which is there to be taken by Papier, and Papier takes that ball outside his 22. I think was looking for the mark, but he wasn't inside his 22. And Ambrose Papier was almost wrapped up by a tackle. Sale, though, have little cause to worry because they have won the penalty. And that's going to give Rob du Preez the chance to clear Sale lines.
Yeah, it was Wan de Jong who got caught there, Chris, and it was definitely a high tackle. There was some mitigating circumstances there as Papier was ducking, but it was definitely a penalty and a chance here for Rob du Preez to clear their lines and get Sale some more territory.
So plenty of incident so far at the AJ Bell, the first home Friday night game of the season. Sale having to manage without Simon Hammersley after he was sin-binned for 10 minutes. Hammersley just returning to the fray now. So Sale back up to full strength. John O'Ross had a heart-in-mouth moment when it looked like he could be seeing a card, not given. And on that occasion, as Ollie was describing, it was Wan de Jong who was perhaps a lucky man himself. But both sides at full strength at the moment, and Sale have a penalty coming after they secure a line out. The Wasps' back line is up quickly as Sale look to try and get a break going, and suddenly a burst through the middle from Papier. Terrific turn of pace from Ambrose Papier. Oh my goodness me, that's a try of the season contender. Ambrose Papier for Sale. A burst of extreme pace from the Bulls' loanee, and Sale suddenly burst into the lead at the AJ Bell. From nowhere, Papier saw a gap on halfway, sprinted away from the Wasps' cover and evaded all possible tacklers to dive in. What a moment for Papier on his first start for the Sharks. There's his first try. It's Sale 15, Wasps 10.
Well, what a try, Chris. He came from absolutely nowhere, around the side of the line out, and just beat Dan Robson for pace. He could do absolutely nothing about it. It was an unbelievable skills there from Papier. We know what he's been all about. This is why he was signed on loan, and he just gave Wasps absolutely no chance. But it does look as if perhaps we're taking a look at the TMO. Tom Foley's having a look at the moment. I couldn't see anything from our angle up here in the AJ Bell stand, but we are having a look at it. Perhaps some obstruction in there somewhere. But for the moment, well, at the moment, Sale don't have the try, but we're looking now. It doesn't look anything wrong with that. There's a tackle there on Van Rensburg.
Well, Van Rensburg released the ball out the back of the hand. Papier collected it just inside his own half. He spotted the gap between Robson and Sopuaga and sprinted through. Now the question for Tom Foley is, oh, it's been ruled out. It's been ruled out. Oh my goodness me. No try, says TMO Stuart Tahij, and what a shame, because that was, well, probably the best no try that I've seen in many a season, Ollie, because it was a lightning fast break from Papier, and I'm sure he will be mighty disappointed that's been ruled out, as will Steve Diamond.
Oh, it was unbelievable, Chris. I think everyone in the stand was almost surprised what Papier did there, and he burst away. It was sort of reminiscent of Ben Youngs in his younger days when he had all that pace, and Papier did it again there, but it has been ruled out. It looks like it was Cameron Redpath who was caught for the block, but Sale had the original penalty anyway, so they do have the chance here to perhaps get a score, get that score that's just been ruled out.
Well, the 22-year-old from Pretoria clearly showed that he has jet heels there, sprinting through the midfield like a winger. And I'm sure that will bring excitement to the Sale fans that, if not now, hopefully sometime soon, Ambrose Papier can get on the score sheet for the club on which he's on loan. Van der Merwe throwing to the security of Bryn Evans in the line-out. Sale secure the ball on the Wasps' 22. Forming a maul, they're going to try and drive their way through. Curry peels off the back of it. Papier digs in. Is he going to give it short to the forwards and try and build some more phases, or look to release the back line? It's a short pop pass to Ross Harrison, who makes another couple of yards. Sale on the 22 with Janse van Rensburg. Janse van Rensburg making some ground. Sale about 15 metres out, very central. Penalty coming. Tom Foley's arm is raised, not rolling away the tackler. And Tom Foley's arm means that Sale will have the opportunity for a relatively straightforward 3 points. I'm sure Rob du Preez will opt to point to the sticks. Indeed he does. And so Sale will look to reclaim the lead, which they first established in the 6th minute, but haven't seen since, with this du Preez penalty. 10-all, 16 minutes to go in the first half.
Well, that was what Rohan Janse van Rensburg is all about. He got the ball on the back foot, but he barraged through a couple of tacklers, and he was going towards the line. But it was a good defence from Wasps, but they were caught for not rolling away. And a chance here for Rob de Pree, as you said, Chris, to give the Sharks the lead after a frantic 25 minutes of rugby.
Well, it's been unpredictable in the extreme so far. We've seen most things. Yellow cards, ruled out tries, interceptions, rolling ball tries, and as I speak, a further penalty. So it is the Sale Sharks who go back into the lead in the 25th minute with the Rob de Pree penalty. Sale Sharks 13, Wasps 10.
As Wasps kick off here, but that's a great moment again from Sale. They've really settled down since that initial yellow card from Hammersley in the try, and they're now back in the lead.
Good work on the wing from Zach Kibariga. Disturbs the best attempts of Bryn Evans to secure that possession from the restart. The ball was hanging around right by the touchline, and Kibariga did well to disturb Evans' attempts at securing clean ball. Knock-on ensued, and it's going to be a scrum. 5 metres in from the right-hand touchline, a Wasps put in. So the chance for Robson to try and launch his pack again. They had the better of the first scrum of the night. Sayuni Vailanu, their Tongan number 8, signed from Saracens, anchoring at the very back of the pack for the visitors from Coventry. Now, can Sale impose some of their own power at this scrummage? What can Oosthuizen and Harrison and Van der Merwe do in the front row? Well, it's Wasps who've got a bit of a drive on again, but Robson elects to use it early. Sopoaga brings in the fullback Minozzi, but Marlon Yarde had taken a gamble and run up high in defence. Shackles Minozzi before he can get away, so good cover from the Sale right wing, but it is Wasps' possession once more. De Jong in the centre, popping a pass to Rowlands, a try scorer last week against Bath. He sets it back at the ruck for Robson, who pops it short to Kieran Brooks. Brooks drives in, but can't make too much headway. Robson once more recycles to Rowlands, last year's Players' Player of the Year for the visitors. And they get moving once again in the centre, but it's De Jong who spills that ball, and Sale have the chance to take advantage from the knock-on. Tom Foley playing advantage to see if the Sharks can do something with this, and it's the Bizier Papier who waits at the bottom of the ruck. He goes back on this occasion to Rob de Pree, and now McGuigan has the chance to run for the first time. Really good break, Byron McGuigan. McGuigan almost getting through. Brought down by the challenge of McIntyre in the end, but McGuigan's silky feet getting him away from Kiribiga. And now Sale can burst through the middle. And it's a great break from Janse van Rensburg. Hit goes Papier. Papier tackled. He was almost in for a second time. Papier brought down inside the Wasps 22. Can Sale release it? Yes, they can. They're back in possession once more with Curry. And now Ross. Sale 5 metres inside the Wasps 22. Papier still wrapped up. Can't get back to scrum half duty, and he can now. He stands over this ruck. 15 metres out. Once more, Ambrose Papier looking to try and win this. No penalty coming, says Tom Foley. He says the ball was there to be fought for on the floor, and I think this is going to become a Wasp penalty. The referee's arm is out, and Sale have conceded possession when it looked like more was on. Once more, though, Byron McGuigan involved in almost getting Sale going, but frustratingly from a Sale point of view, no try ultimately coming.
Yeah, it was more good work there from McGuigan, Chris. He's been excellent so far. Obviously, Sale have got so many options on the wing, but with Denny Solomona and Chris Ashton out injured, McGuigan's really stepping up at the moment. He burst through again, and it came to Van Rensburg and then Papier, and it looked as if they would have a chance to break through, but it was good work from Wasps to force the turnover, and now they'll have the scrum just inside their own 22 with about 12 minutes remaining. We are here on Sharks Live. Currently, Sale Sharks 13, Wasps 10. We're going to be here every Gallagher Premiership game of the season. Obviously, Premiership rugby takes a break after this. There's some European rugby coming up. Glasgow away next week for Sale, and they'll be back here against La Rochelle. But we'll be back again for the Northampton game on December the 21st, and then the Harlequins game on January the 3rd. So make sure you're around for them as the players take a break here. It looks like it's Wasps tight head Kieran Brooks down at the moment. He's back on his feet, and it looks as if he's okay. as we settle down after a pretty extraordinary first half that we've seen so far. A try apiece, but it's been so much more than that. We saw a yellow card of Simon Hammersley earlier on in the half. It looked as if John O'Ross might follow him into the sin bin, but referee Thomas Foley judged that he was okay with his tackle. The Wasps did take a 10-3 lead, but good work from Sale to get back into it. Dan Dupree scoring a try, and Rob Dupree has just kicked a penalty. So Sale are leading by 13 points to 10, with about 28 minutes gone in this first half. As we get set up for the scrum, it's a Wasps put in just inside their own 22, and a chance here for them to clear their lines.
Yes, the scrum so far has seen Wasps having a bit of ascendancy. Sale needing to try and put some pressure on to ensure there's not an easy exit for the visitors. Plenty of steam coming off the two packs, Ollie. That shows you how cold it is tonight. The temperature certainly dipping down here. Nice evening for rugby, no real wind to speak of, and the pitch in immaculate condition. I had one or two messages from friends based in the south today to say, are you sure the rains that have hit Sheffield are not going to put your fixture at doubt this evening? Well, absolutely no sign of that at all. The pitch in immaculate condition, but certainly a chilly evening here in Eccles as the scrum goes down and needs to be reset by referee Tom Foley.
We're into proper winter rugby now, Chris. Obviously in early November, Friday night. I think it might get as low as 1 degree later on. So it's definitely the change from what we saw in the summer. Even a couple of weeks ago when we were here, it was a lot warmer than this. So yeah, you can see the air almost. What am I saying here, Chris? But it's definitely cold.
Tom Foley resets the scrum. The clock running down. Some fans heading for an early cup of tea. Perhaps keen to get a bit of a run on at the kiosks with 10 minutes to play in this first half. Sale Sharks 13, Wasps 10. You're listening to Sharks Live. And once more, Wasps' ascendancy at the scrum is clear. They win a penalty. The Sale pack wheeling round in the eyes of referee Tom Foley. And you can see the jubilation amongst the front row of McIntyre, Cruz and Brooks at winning that penalty. And Sale are struggling in the tight at the moment. Lots of experience, international experience in the Sale front row, but at this point the Sale tight 8 are very much second best to the visiting scrummage from Wasps, and Wasps are able to take advantage by clearing up towards the halfway line, and Tommy Taylor, just reintroduced at hooker for Tom Cruise, prepares to throw.
Yeah, as you said, Chris, it's been a real point of dominance, that scrum. That's 3 scrum penalties they've won now, and that's something Sale are going to have to address into the second half. There's obviously some good experience on the bench. The former Wasp, Jake Cooper-Woolley's there, so maybe we'll see a change at half-time, maybe we won't, but that's definitely an issue that needs addressing for Sale for the rest of the game.
Sale managed to disturb the Wasps' throw, so first time tonight that a line-out's been lost by the throwing side, and Papier launches a high box kick up the touchline. Former Shark Paolo Adogwu comes to try and claim it, gets nowhere near that, and Sale get possession back through John O'Ross on the 10-metre line. A little bit scrappy on the floor, handing on the floor perhaps. Penalty coming to Sale, and indeed Marlon Yarde claps his hands as Tom Foley extends his arm. We've seen a real run of penalties in this first half coming, lots of mistakes from both sides at the breakdown being penalised. Hands on the floor lead to a Sale penalty on the Wasps 10-metre line, and a chance for Rob Dupree to once more slot a penalty and try and turn this Sale Sharks 3-point lead into a 6-point one.
Good work there from Marlon Yarde. As the box kick came up, he was chasing it down and he managed to pat it back on the Sale side. John O'Ross drove it in, and Wasps guilty again of not rolling away at the breakdown. There's been some funny moments on the floor for Wasps. They haven't rolled away, they haven't been releasing. I think that's something they're going to want to address at half-time, and a chance here for Rob Dupree to extend that Sharks lead to 6 points.
Dupree fairly central with this kick. He is on the 10-metre line, so a fair long way out, but probably only 5 metres or so if you drew a line to the right of the posts. So can Dupree give Sale a little bit of a cushion as we move towards the final stages of this first half? It would extend his side lead to 6 points, and the number 10 starts his run up now. He strikes it right-footed. The connection looks good. Has he got the angle right? It's hit the post. It happened with the last kick of the match against Gloucester a few weeks ago, and it's happened again for Rob du Preez. So a second penalty from the Sale number 10 goes begging. And Wasps remain just 3 points behind. They have, though, got to find a good exit from inside their 22. They're in possession, though, and Sopoaga is back behind the line waiting for the pass from Robson if Robson elects to do it. Instead, though, he elects to kick himself up the left-hand touchline, and Simon Hammersley comes across to try and think about a quick throw. Decides against it, and Robson's clearance moves his side up to their own 10-metre line, and we've got 6.5 minutes to play in the first half.
Important phase of the game coming up here, Chris. As you said, just under 7 minutes to go until half-time, and Sale have really grown into the game. They didn't start well, obviously, with the yellow card and that Wasps try off the maul, but Sale have really picked it up. The line-out's improved as well, and some of the carrying from the likes of John O'Ross, and, you know, we've seen Byron McGuigan, who's caused some problems for the Wasps defence. So these last 15-20 minutes have definitely been better from Sale.
Van der Merwe prepares to throw for the Sharks. He goes deep into the line now, then he picks out the experience of Bryn Evans. Evans off the top, and Sale have the chance to work it through the three quarters. McGuigan comes into the line to try and make something happen. Peels for offside against the Wasps three quarters. Don't curry favour with referee Foley, and Wasps have won it back after Sale drop it on the floor. And there's a chance for Wasps to try and move up towards the Sale 10-metre line. In possession once more as De Jong joins the ruck, rather Sopoaga does, and Sopoaga manages to get another phase of play while Robson then can run round and start dictating operations once more. Sopoaga this time launches an up and under, which McGuigan comes for from his left wing. McGuigan gets under that to secure possession back for Sale. And Papier can try and keep it tight now for the home side as Harrison takes the ball short and drives it a couple of yards forward as Sale look to try and cleanly exit. They're 10 metres or so outside their own 22, and Papier's going to kick again himself, but his kick is charged down and Kibariga collects it for Wasps. That was disappointing from the Sale scrum half, and Wasps through Charlie Matthews can start again in midfield, but Kieran Brooks knocks it on. Bit of a case of too many cooks spoiling the broth in the middle of the park, and it will be a Sale scrummage for the knock-on, a couple of yards inside their own half as the first half reaches the 36th minute.
Good work there from Sale after the Papier kick was charged down. They had their line speed was good. They got up to the Wasps attackers, and a mistake there from Wasps, and a chance here for Sale to get something going. Just under 5 minutes to go before half-time. A score here would be absolutely ideal for Steve Diamond and his team.
Sale 13, Wasps 10 then. Listening to Sharks Live. Good to have you with us live from the AJ Bell Stadium. Hope you're enjoying the coverage, whether you're connecting to us via Twitter or Facebook or YouTube. Chris Malaband and Ollie Lathrope with you, as we will be throughout this season, providing full audio commentary of all the Guinness Premiership games played here at the AJ Bell, together with a TV programme for an hour before kickoff, which hopefully you joined earlier. If not, you can watch back through the Sale Sharks Facebook page and see our interviews with Rob Webber and Marlon Yarde and Sam James, who joined us pitchside amongst other guests, as Papier passes to Rob du Preez. Now Cameron Redpath looking to try and break through from outside centre down the right-hand touch line. Has Yarde outside him, but Redpath looks to keep possession, take the tackle, and then let Papier set up the next phase of attack as Beaumont is driven over halfway for Sale. 3.5 minutes to go in this first half. Can the Sharks get themselves another try on the board before the interval? Curry looking busy around the fringes as ever, makes another couple of yards as Sale move into Wasps territory. Van der Merwe comes in with Papier subsumed into the ruck, and Van der Merwe bursts through himself, the raging warthog. Here he goes, he's got a man outside him, John O'Ross. Ross brought down inside the Wasps 22, but Sale have some space here. Hammersley joins the attack. Yarde in support, up the right-hand touchline, Sale go, recycling once more. Real good opportunity here. Harrison on the crash ball, makes another couple of metres. 5 metres out the Sale Sharks. The fans find their voice away to our right. Ruck forms centrally, 15 metres out. Wasps defence solid at the moment. Yarde plays scrum half, pops it short to Oosthuizen. Once more Yarde involved at close quarters to try and secure quick release for Sale. Short it goes to Ross. Ross looking to pummel the hard yards from close range. A wall of yellow standing in front of the Sale Sharks at the moment as Beaumont drives forward. Hammersley and McGuigan to the left. Papier, though, goes to the open side, and Rob Dupree knocks on and then hacks the ball forward in frustration, and Wasps spot the chance to take advantage and hammer the ball downfield. Lots of open space there, and across comes McGuigan to launch the ball out of defence for Sale, but a disappointing knock-on from Rob Dupree as Sopoaga returns it with interest for Wasps. And we're into a bit of a kicking battle now, and Rob Dupree kicks it into space down the middle of the pitch. And back goes Sopoaga and slices his clearance forward. No one can find touch at the moment. Marlon Yarde collects and runs over the 10-metre line. Yarde stepping on the gas and breaking the first tackle from Charlie Matthews. Sale back in possession once more. Have got a minute and a half. They've also got a penalty coming with referee Foley's arm extended. Now then, free play for Sale. Can they use it? Josh Beaumont can't hang on. McGuigan collects on the left wing, but we'll go back for the penalty that was coming. And it will be a Sale penalty, and I think the last couple of minutes almost a bit of a microcosm of the half, Ollie, which is lots of good intent from Sale and almost getting through, but either a mistake coming at a crucial time or just a piece of execution not being there.
Yeah, you're definitely right there, Chris. We saw Akavan de Moa burst through, and it looked as if he was up to the final man. He tried to draw the man, but obviously it didn't come off, and then Sale knocked on and Wasps cleared their line. There's a bit of a kicking battle, and we've ended up with this Sale penalty just shy of the Wasps 22, and as you said, a minute before half-time, and a chance here for Sale to extend that lead.
Well, Rob Dupree has missed 2 of his kicks tonight. He'll be keen to make sure it isn't a third. Valerie Morozov has come on for Sale, and it's Ross Harrison who is coming off. Now, whether this is a permanent or temporary change, we will see. With just a minute to go in the first half, so Morozov returns to Sale colours for the first time since his World Cup exploits with Russia, where he started 3 of their games. Ross Harrison taking the applause. We shall wait and see whether he returns for the second 40 minutes or not. Now then, Dupree hasn't set the ball up on a tee as yet. I wonder, with 50 seconds to play, whether he's going to be tempted to kick to the corner. You'd have thought, Ollie, he would be looking to try and get 3 more points on the board for Sale, but it is quite a long way out on the right-hand touchline, and Dupree, well, he's having a gamble here, kick into the corner, trying to go for the 7 points.
This feels like a big moment in the game here, Chris. 40 seconds to go in this first half. Sale currently have a 3-point lead, but if they were to score a try here, it could be a defining moment in the match. It would take that lead out beyond 7, and you feel that Wasps will know this is a massive defensive set coming up.
Well, 28 seconds are left on the clock. It will be a Sale throw inside the Wasps 22 on the Sale right. So you'd think Sale would look to just secure clean ball and potentially turn it into a driving maul. We saw Wasps exploit the driving maul for their try. And this is very much set-piece training ground territory now to see if Sale can execute this. How would you sum up the first half, Ollie, just as we have this break in play for some running repairs?
Well, it's been a really exciting game of rugby, Chris. So much has happened. We've had yellow cards, we've had tries, we've had disallowed tries, we've had players bursting through. It really has had everything. It's one of those games that you can't really take your eyes off. I know I certainly can't. And even though Sale are only leading by 3 points, they've done a lot quite well. I suppose the one down point of the half has been these injuries. Ross Harrison going off, and it looks like it's Ben Curry down at the moment. But I think Steve Diamond will be delighted with how this half has progressed. Sale have really grown into the game. In the last 10 minutes or so, it has been all the Sharks, and they've got a chance here, 28 seconds to go, to really extend that lead, get back on top from where they were in the first couple of minutes, and they lost that momentum. So, it's a big moment in the game.
Aside from the try, Wasps haven't really threatened the Sale line at all, have they?
No, they haven't, Chris, and it looked like after that try, especially with Sale down to 14 men, that they would then push on. But I think that try that Sale scored whilst Hammersley was still off was a real turning point. Hammersley could come back on, Sale were back up to 15 and sort of have regained their advantage since then. I think Wasps at half-time might get a few stern words from Dai Young.
Still anybody's game at 13-10. The clock starts to run down. We're into the last 20 seconds of the half. So Sale with their last opportunity to get another score, and the throw to Bryn Evans is spilt, and with it you'd think goes Sale's chance of extending this 3-point lead. Wasps will have the chance to kick the ball into touch and draw the half to a close. The clock clicks through 40 minutes and Dan Robson says thank you very much. We will kick that into the Printerland stand, and that is half time. A half full of incident here at the AJ Bell Stadium. Rob Dupree kicking Sale into a early lead before Seoni Vaiolanu's driving maul meant that Wasps bounced straight back. Conversion coming from Lima Sopoaga to give them a 7-3 lead, which Sopoaga then extended with a penalty. Simon Hammersley at this point off the field as Sale were down to 14 men and things looking a little bleak. Then Dan Dupree took full advantage of a Byron McGuigan interception to go in under the posts and draw Sale level, with the conversion coming from his brother Rob. Then there was the disallowed try, probably one of the best disallowed tries you'll ever see from Ambrose Papier, after Cameron Redpath was adjudged to have obstructed in midfield. So that kept the score still at 10 each. A Rob Dupree penalty, though, has given Sale the lead by 13 points to 10. And Dupree has had an opportunity since then with a penalty which has hit the post. So Sale will perhaps be thinking it could be more. They could be perhaps 19-10 up if Dupree had landed the 2 penalties which were missed. But it is they who still have the lead here by 13 points to 10 at the half-time interval. Final half-time thoughts from Ollie Lathrow.
Yeah, what a game, Chris. It hasn't been all quality, but there's been some excellent moments from both sides, especially from Sale. It feels like that lead could be a little bit bigger. There's been a few missed kicks. We obviously saw the Papier try disallowed, and there was another opportunity there at the end, and the line-out didn't quite go to plan. But I think Steve Diamond have delighted so far. I think, only one win from your first 3 games, you're going to be a little bit disappointed about it. They've come here tonight, they've played with intent, and, if they play like that in the second half, this should end in a Sale victory.
Half-time then here at the AJ Bell. We'll be back with full commentary of the second 40 minutes. It is Sale Sharks 13, Wasps 10.
This is the Gallagher way.
Okay, welcome back to Sale Sharks Live, 13-10. Okay start, I think, if you're only just joining us, where have you been, for starters? But yeah, 13-10 is where we're at. Keep the conversations going, comments below. Sharks Live, any questions you have, we'll try and get hold of somebody after the game. I don't know who it's going to be yet. We'll try our best to do that. But in the meantime, let's go for a little wander around. Let's go and see if we can talk to a couple of fans, actually. I think it'd be a good idea. These guys are running away because they don't want me to talk to them. I'm going to run away. What do you think of the game so far?
Very exciting. Very exciting when they get the ball and go. They play, don't they?
Great break.
Great break. Great break.
And it's really good to see that, actually. What are you thinking second half? What you can see more of it, do you think?
I can see them extending the lead. I think they've got full control.
Okay, we might come back to you later on for that one. All right, we've got him on camera. We can ask him again later on a little bit and see how we go. Thank you very much. Oh no, we all hope so too. Let's have a little walk around later. Let's just take a little walk down here. I'm looking at some what looks like Stockport. I don't know. Stockport hats on. Who are you from? Where are you from?
Stockport.
Stockport. I got that right. Nailed it. I thought it was Stockport. You okay, Stockport as well? Yeah. What do you think so far?
Great game. Just need to tighten up just a little bit down the breakdown. That'd be great. You know what I mean? Good game. Just need to capitalise on what we can do, and it's be ours, to be honest.
I saw there was some good breaks there before as well, wasn't there? Before we saw some good lines running. That must be pretty impressive to see that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And what do you think? Do you think we're going to build on that a bit more? Do you think over the next half? Do you think we'll build on that a little bit in the second half?
I hope so. Yeah, like you said, I hope we just cut out some of the basic errors and just. I'd like to see him move it through the cycles a bit more. There's a lot of trying to offload the ball quickly, and some of the passing's getting a bit slack. So. Yeah, just keep cycling it through the phases, build a little bit, and then see what we can do.
And we saw a bit of that towards the end of the second half, where they were actually taking it in a bit more, trying to build some phases, and to have the difference between taking it slow, taking it fast. It must be quite good to see that diversity.
Good breaks happening. There's some really nice support play. We just need to back it up a little bit, and then it's ours. It's ours. Wasps aren't really playing to their strengths either, which is good.
Okay, we might come back and catch up with you guys later on afterwards, hopefully. Looking good. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate that. Oh, what you got there? What's that? Looks good. No, it doesn't. It did. It looked good from a distance. What do you think of the game so far, though? Enjoying it?
It's stop start, though. It's not got going, has it, really?
It's good to see we're in the lead going in at half-time, and the lead's a good thing, to be fair.
Yeah, excellent.
And there was some good breaks as well, wasn't there?
Excellent, but it came to nothing, unfortunately.
Well,
drop balls, missed moves and things like that.
We're close. It's where we want to be. It's where we want to be. It's good. So it's a good point. Okay, let's take a little walk. Again, keep the conversation going. Sharks Live on the hashtag, and get some of the comments below. You're going that way, are you? I'll go this way. You go that way. I'll go this way. Okay, get out of the way. Hello, who have you got here? Let's talk to these guys here. How you doing? You all right? Have we got Sharks fans or Wasps fans here? Who are you?
Sharks.
Sharks. All right, we're in the right place. What do you think of the game so far?
Pretty good so far, yeah. Happy. First game.
It's your first game? What do you think so far?
Good.
Enjoying it, yeah? Have you played rugby yourself?
Yeah.
Who do you play for?
Failed.
Ah, excellent. You've journeyed a fair distance to see us there then. Great. Which age range do you play for? Under 18s?
I think it's under 10s.
Under 10s, good stuff. I don't know, are you tackling yet in the 10s? When does that come in? Big smashes, are you hitting big?
Yeah.
Absolutely, I love it. It was good to see a couple of breaks there earlier as well. The second one didn't come to much, but the referee decided we need to make it easy for us to give them. Anyway, I'm not going to say that. But yeah, so far so good. Do you think?
Pardon?
So far so good. Do you think?
Yeah, enjoyed it. Sale are playing well. Wasps look like they're up in the attack quite quick. Defence. It'll be interesting to see how the second half goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you enjoying the atmosphere? Do you like coming down? Do you come down often?
Yeah, come down every now and again, yeah.
Every now and again. Would you like to come down more often?
Right, yeah, I'd love to.
I didn't put words in his mouth. Gents, it's great to see you. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a great atmosphere down here. We've got some great half-time activity as well. How you doing? You all right? Good stuff. So let's go take a little walk over here. We're going to try and get hold of these guys. How are we doing? All right? Oh, no, I'm kicking things down here. I'm going to run this way a little bit. So, yeah, keep the conversation going. Hashtag Sharks Live. We want to hear you with the comments below. Keep us informed. Anything you want us to go and find out about. I'm in the HQ again. I've just jumped on these guys as well. Sorry, lads, to jump on you. What do you think of the game so far?
Being done by the ref.
Yeah. That was easily a try. How are you enjoying it so far?
Yeah, really enjoying it. Hopefully the kicking gets a bit better in the second half, though. So, oh well, don't mind.
It'd been great to capitalise that off the post there before, wouldn't it? You always say, it's off the post, we can get something there. Oh, no, we can't. Those breaks were good, though, were they not?
Oh, fantastic. I wish that try counted as well. It looked...
To me, it counted, all right? As far as I'm concerned, it counts, you know what I mean? Do you think we'll get more of that in the second half?
Yeah. Beaten by 10.
Yeah, right. We'll leave you with that. That's great. Yeah, beaten by 10. I like the sound of that. Just watch yourself, Andy. Go behind him, Andy. Don't go in front of him. Come behind him. Andy's getting in the way of BT here. Come around this way, Andy. Let's go and chat to a few more people. How you doing? You okay?
Yeah. Yeah, not the best so far, but hopefully second half we can come out and perform a bit stronger. Couple of mistakes. I'm not sure why the try was disallowed, but there you go.
We got to give these Southerners a chance, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, give them a chance, yeah.
They need all the help they can get. Be careful you pace yourself that. You don't want to miss the end of the second half.
No, it'll be fine.
Could be in the toilet or whatever, you know what I mean? That's a lot of beer there.
It is, but, you know.
Good value for money? Yeah, it's good value for money.
Not great beer, though.
Hey, beer's beer as far as I'm concerned, do you know what I mean? Listen, are you enjoying it so far, yeah?
Yeah.
Good stuff, good. We'll catch up with you later on. Thank you very much for letting me jump on you. Good man, thank you. Okay, they don't like me in here because I keep jumping on asking difficult questions and stuff like this. But they're a great bunch. This is the hardcore Sale Sharks supporters. Don't forget to keep the conversation going. #SharksLive. We're going to go and chat to somebody else. Let's chat to these lads here. These looks like these guys are in the know. Sorry to interrupt. So, have you enjoyed it so far?
It's been all right, but the first try should have been a try. Other than that, it's been great. The first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, Sale were a bit behind, but after that, we controlled the game. We've been great. Kicking's been a little bit off, but we control the game, and I think the second half we're going to score at least 2 tries. So
yeah, we're controlling it. We're going to sort this out. Batter them second half.
Do you know, this is the expert analysis you get on Facebook Live. This is straight from the horse's mouth. This is why we like coming into this stand.
Rochdale Rugby Union Club.
See, Rochdale. There we go. Rochdale lads are in. Which team do you play for at Rochdale?
This is the first time I've ever watched rugby.
Oh, it's the first time you've seen the rugby. Oh, brothers, right, brilliant. And which first, second, thirds, what?
It's normally like the 2s on the 3s for me.
So what he means by that is whoever turns up on a Saturday morning gets in a game. Good lad. Well, I know. I was the same. I used to rock up late on a Saturday as well.
I'm his dad. Who's away? He plays 2s or 3s.
2s, depending on who's away. Oh, you're a short distance rugby player.
The others are.
Oh, the others. Oh, you travels. I like it. Good commitment.
Well, it was my dad's birthday was it April? Sorry.
Happy birthday.
This is the first weekend we've all had together. This is why we're here tonight.
And that's the point, everybody at home listening. If you're going to come down, this is why you come down. Yeah, because the missuses aren't around as well. That's another good reason too. Do you know what I mean? And we're going to win all the time as well. Guys, thank you very much. Much appreciated. No, that's fine. We'll do it every week. Don't worry. We'll be back again next time. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Good on you. Okay, let's come and chat to these guys over here. How you doing, guys? You okay?
Absolutely, yeah. What a good evening.
Yeah, you enjoying it, yeah?
Thoroughly, yeah. Nice warm night. You said it was going to be cold, but it's not.
It's absolutely tropical here at the moment.
It is, absolutely, yeah.
So that's just a fashion statement, that's all. Yeah. Well, so what do you think of the game so far?
Nervy, but enjoyable.
What did you say?
Missing Faff.
Entertaining.
Yeah, Faff, it'd be good to see him back soon. I think it won't be long. Oh, Tommy's back as well, though, isn't he? Listen, it's great to see Tommy, though. Come on, I know he's on the other side and everything, but he wants a shark.
Always a shark.
Ah, yes, look, I knew it. It's like I knew it. Good on you. I'll catch you guys later on. Okay, we're going to go up this way, Andy. How long we got left? I don't know how long we've got left. I feel like challenge Annika here a little bit. Hey, we're doing. How's it going? You all right? Sale Sharks fans, look at this guy trying to run away, so I won't ask him a question. What do you think so far?
Too close for comfort.
Too close for comfort. Some nice breaks, though.
Really good. We didn't see why the try got disallowed, so...
Because Wasps need every chance they can get, probably. Could be a good answer to that one.
I did wonder if the ref was from Coventry tonight.
We don't know. We'll ask him later, shall we? No, but to be fair, though, it's good to see a bit of opening rugby there, opening up a little bit.
Fantastic break. We were all going wild down here and then gutted when it got brought back.
Now, they're going to play the other way, aren't they, in the second half? So they're coming to us, aren't they? Just as a little chat, what's it like being dear on a Friday night? You're down every Sale game?
Every time that we can, yeah. We come down every match. If he's not working, he's with us as well. His sister doesn't come anymore because she's too cool now, so...
Too cool for school. Whereabouts do you come down from?
Over near Stoke.
That's a trek. Well done. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. If anything you could say to the fans at home who didn't quite make it because the bridge was busy, what would you say to them?
Well, what I would say is tell me mum and dad start coming again, because they used to be season ticket holders and they don't know what they're missing.
Right, you've been told, mum and dad. Get yourselves down here. Thank you, guys. Thank you. We'll come and catch up with you later on. Thank you very much. Appreciated. Listen, we're going to hand back over to you. Chris and Ollie are ready to take us back over to the commentary. Thanks very much. We'll see you again soon. Keep the conversation going.
Welcome back to the AJ Bell Stadium for the second half. Here with Sale Sharks coming out onto the pitch now. They are leading by 13 points to 10 after an interesting first half. Plenty of action, plenty of stuff going on in Chris. A big second half to come.
Really important 40 minutes, you think, this, Ollie, because if Sale can see this out, get a first home win of the season on their first Friday night of the campaign, then it's 2 from 4. I'm sure Steve Diamond would like that probably to have been 3 from 4, but 2 from 4 is an okay start. If Wasps come and win this one, then 1 from 4 looks suddenly a disappointing start, and it starts to ring some alarm bells. So let's see how the second 40 minutes goes. I think the encouragement from a Sale point of view is, apart from the one rolling maul that led to the Wasps try, Wasps haven't really threatened the Sale line. So Sale had the better of the territory in possession, but 3 points is a paper-thin lead. So they're going to need a strong 40 minutes and to make sure they kick their goals.
So here we are then, just about to get underway in the second half. It's Wasps kicking off, kicking from right to left here at the AJ Bell Stadium as Sopoaga sends it just inside the 22, and it's Cameron Redpath who clears his lines, and it will be a Wasps line out. Just a run through of the two teams here in the second half. Valerie Morozov is on at loose head. Ross Harrison has come off late in that first half. Van der Merwe, Oosthuizen, Beaumont, Bryn Evans, John O'Ross, Ben Curry, Dan Duprier, and in the backs for Sale, Ambrose Papier, Rob Duprier, Byron McGuigan, Rohan Jansevan Rensburg, Cameron Redpath, Marlon Yarde and Simon Hammersley as Wasps prepare to kick off, to take the line out, Just in front of the Sale 22, an early chance here for Wasps to build an attacking opportunity as Taylor throws in to the back of the line out. It's caught well by Will Rowlands, Wasps' player of the season last year. Sopoaga takes up. It's a great tackle from John O'Ross, pushes back the fly half, but Wasps keep the ball, and here's Robson into the hands of the forwards. They look to drive through. That's more good work from the Sale defence. That's Oosthuizen that time, pushing Wasps back. Robson out again to De Jong in midfield. He pushes up to the 10-metre line. Wasps remain in possession. Here's Taylor. Oosthuizen coming out the line quickly there, but unable to get Taylor, who makes a bit of ground. Here's Sopoaga. Round the back to Adogwu, the former Sale man. He looks to break through. He makes some good carries there past the Sale 10-metre line, and a good start here from Wasps in this second half. Here's Robson. It's a good pass to one of his forwards, but his forward has driven back well there again. It looks like that was James Phillips. And here come Wasps. But good defence from Sale so far. Wasps not really going anywhere. And Robson again, as Wasps look to go wide. That's Nizam Carr going wide. Good defence here from Sale. Wasps really aren't going anywhere. They've been stuck on the Sale 10-metre line, and they might have been held up here. Sale calling for the scrum, and they get it. Some great defence there from Sale. Wasps were building the phases, but they really weren't going anywhere, and that's an excellent defensive start to the half, Chris.
Well, John O'Ross really set the example there, Ollie, didn't he? A massive hit at the very start of this period in midfield, stopping Wasps' momentum, and that gave the opportunity for his side to swarm up and ensure that Wasps could get no forward territory at all. So a real statement of intent in the first couple of minutes here. First scrum of the second half now looming, and this is where Wasps have had the ascendancy in the first half, but it is a Sale put in. Ambrose Papier can control it a little bit, but important for Sale to show at least parity in this area in the second half. We saw from an England perspective in the World Cup final, if you're on the back foot at the scrum all the time, it's very difficult to win a game.
We'll give you a rundown of the Wasps team as soon as we can, as they scrum down on the Sale 10-metre line. Sale do have the ball as Papier feeds it in. It's another good scrum from Wash, and they get the push on, it looks like, but it's a penalty for Sale. It looks like the referee, Thomas Foley, has penalised Wasps for boring in there, and a good start for Sale there at the scrum, where they struggled in the second half. And Chris, that will please forwards coach Dorian West. Yeah,
Kieran Brooks penalised, as you rightly say, for boring in at that scrum, and that's an excellent outcome from a Sale point of view. It gives Rob Duprier the chance to clear up the left-hand touchline and put Sale right back into the heart of Wasps territory. And again, psychologically, at the start of the second half, we've now seen Wasps turned over in the contact, and then Sale more than hold their own at the scrum. So a very positive first 3 or 4 minutes in the set piece for Steve Diamond.
So a chance here for Sale. Van der Merwe to throw in. Just midway through midway between the 10-metre line and the 22, as Sale have their first attacking opportunity of this second period. Can they get their line out right? Oh, it's to the front, and it looks like it's collected by Dan Dupree, and he keeps hold of the ball, and Sale managed to get the ball out to the backs as Ben Curry drives up past the 10-metre line. An excellent carry from him, and he's still moving on the floor, and he's done well there. Papier comes out to the right. He comes through the hands to Redpath, back inside to McGuigan. He had an excellent first half, and he started well again here, getting over the gain line. Sale building something nicely here. Here's Papier to replacement Valery Morozov. Some good carrying here from Sale, and here's Dupree to his other brother Dan Dupree, and another inside ball from Dupree. Gets the ball back, he tries again, it goes to Ben Curry. Sale break into the Wasps 22, a lovely move there from the Sharks. They go to the left. They keep moving forward, a chance here for Sale. Out to Yarde. He can't quite break the tackle, but Sale up into the Wasps 22. An excellent start to this second half for Sale. Here's Dan Dupree, he carries hard now. Sale building nicely here as the forwards set up in a pod next to Papier. But Wasps disrupt the ball well there, but they are penalised for going in at the side, and that's an excellent, excellent way for Sale to get this second half underway. Some good carrying, going forward, and Wasps forced to concede the penalty.
Really good stuff from Sale in attack there. Papier again involved, Dan Dupree busy, and some excellent passing to keep the move going. Very fluid attacking play, backs and forwards alike involved, Ollie, and this has been really a textbook start to the second half from the Sharks, both defensively and now offensively. And if Rob Dupree can kick this penalty, then that really is as solid an opening 5 or 6 minutes as you could want to see in all facets of play. But Sale playing with plenty of industry in attack there, being prepared to risk losing the ball in that attack to keep it alive, taking that chance. Dupree involved a couple of times, and once more Papier looking really pacey and busy in linking the play together. Now it's over to Dupree to try and take advantage, and an important kick for him this at the start of the second half, having missed those two, both kickable really, in the first.
Yes, Dupree prepares to step up, of course, as Chris said, missed a couple in the first half, and of course he missed that game-winning kick against Gloucester. Usually so reliable off the tee, Dupree. It's just to the left-hand side. It's on its right side. You'd expect him to get this one. 6 minutes into the second half, Sale Sharks 13, Wasps 10, as a silence goes around the AJ Bell. The Sharks fans hoping Dupree can kick this one. Just taking a look up at the post, analysing his target. And he steps back, and he steps up, and Dupree kicks. And it's through the posts. An excellent kick from Rob Dupree. Sale Sharks 16, Wasps 10. And just as we come up for the kick-off, we'll give you a quick run-through of the Wasps team. Simon McIntyre in the loose head, Tommy Taylor at hooker, it's Kieran Brooks, Charlie Matthews, Will Rowlands, Brad Shields, Nizam Carr, Sione Villani, who make up the forwards, Dan Robson, Lima Sofianga, the halfbacks, Paulo Adogwu, Jimmy Gopov, Wan De Jong, Zach Kibarigi and Matteo Minozzi making up the backs as Sale collect the kick-off well, and Ben Curry drives forward. Sale outside their own 22, and it looks as if Papier is setting up for a kick here. An excellent performance in the first half from the South African. And it's a high-hanging kick, and it looks like McGuigan's under it. But it looked like a good take from Minozzi, but he's knocked it on, and that's a net gain there for Sale. A good kick from Papier, and I think they'll be absolutely delighted with that. Another chance here to get some attacking play going.
Good claim from Ben Curry from the restart, and then as you mentioned there, a good kick from Papier, and Minozzi not able to field it cleanly, and a really good start from Sale Sharks in this second half. I don't think it'll be long before Dai Young starts to empty the Wasps bench to try and get his side going, but I'm sure Steve Diamond will be pleased that his side have given the control that they have really at the start of this second period. They're executing the different skill sets cleanly, whether that's line out, scrum or kicking penalties. They've been good in the attacking phase as well, and they're going to have another put in here that Papier has control of. So another important scrum coming up, but a very encouraging first 8 minutes of the second half.
That was Dan Dupree down there as we waited for their scrum to take place. The only player in this Sale team who's played every minute of this Gallagher Premiership campaign so far. Hammersley was on that list, but of course he was sin-binned. Dupree looks like he's okay to carry on, but his brother John Luke is on the bench if he does need to come off. But he's all good as we prepare for this scrum. Just shy of the halfway line, it's Sale ball to the left-hand side of the pitch. Rowan Janssen van Rensburg stirred in quite a promising position. Perhaps we'll see a crash ball from him as Sale, if we come down for the scrum. It's a relatively solid scrum from Sale, but Wasps do get the push on again, and Sale will need to get this out when it's reset. a bugbear for many, the resets at the scrums. We often see it, and an important scrum this one, Chris.
Yeah, starting to wheel there, and some referees might have given that as a penalty one way or the other, but Tom Foley happy to reset it. I still think Papier's going to have to be pretty dexterous at getting the ball in and out of the scrums quickly. It still looks like Wasps have got the advantage in those tight areas, so important that Sale, having had control really at the start of this second half, don't concede a penalty here just inside their own half.
As Chris said, Sale have started the second half very well. We're about 8 minutes into it. Sale leading by 16 points to 10 as they pack down here for the scrum. Can Sale keep this encouraging start to the second half going? It's called again, and it looks like there'll be another reset. Disappointing to see, really. Want to see some flow in rugby, and referee Tom Foley is going to reset this scrum. The second time it's been resetted. Obviously, some would like to see the clock stopped in this situation, but it's carrying on as we've approached the sort of 9.5 minute mark into this second half. Sale wanting to build something here. As I said, Janssen van Rensburg stood almost in front of Rob de Prier. We might see Ryan and Wasps have a chance here. Sopawanga looking to kick. He kicks almost sideways, but it's straight. Well, it looked as if it was going straight into the hands of McGuigan, but it's bounced, and Sale are now back in their own 22 as McGuigan clears his lines. And it's a relatively good kick from McGuigan. It's gone out just past the halfway line, and some more kicking taking place there, Chris.
Yeah, Byron McGuigan initially not reading the kick from Lima Sokowawa, but recovering well and managing to return the ball with interest. And again, Sale not really being hurt by the Wasps' attack. First 10 minutes of this half, they have very comfortably dealt with what Wasps have thrown at them, and they've still got a good grip on this game as Jake Cooper-Woolley comes on to face his former employers. And that's going to mean that Valerie Morozov comes off, a relatively short cameo from him, so I think that'll see Cooney Oosthuizen move to the loose head, Cooper-Woolley on at tight head.
So a line out here for Wasps, just shy of the halfway line, but it's excellently stolen by Josh Beaumont. So dangerous in the line out. He's done good work for his side there. As Sale come wide, it's in the hands of Redpath and Hammersley. He can't quite break the initial tackle of Kibarigi, but Sale in a good position here. Chest into the Wasps half, and some disruption there from Wasps, but Sale retained the ball, and Ross carries hard. Good work from him. And it looks like there was no one at the ruck for Sale, and Wasps have come in and stolen it. Some poor work there from the Sale forwards, but Wasps have the ball here, but it's all a bit scrappy. Tommy Taylor picks the ball up and pushes onto the halfway line. Wasps have their chance here. They haven't really had much in this second half, and they'll look to build something. Here's Valanu. His top pass looked forward, but it's play on. Sopawanga breaks into the Sale half. That was definitely a forward pass there, but missed by referee Tom Foley, and another chance here for Wasps to keep these phases going. There, the ball's down on the floor, but it comes out again, and it looks like that's Gopher driving through. A good offload from him into the hands of Charlie Matthews. Wasps starting to build something here. Ben Curry over the ball looking to disrupt, but he can't quite do anything with it. But that's an excellent tackle there. It looked like from John O'Ross again. He's everywhere. Obviously the Premiership highest tackler so far this season. He's in there again to disrupt Wasps, and Wasps are pushed back to the halfway line, and they have to go again. Ben Curry up this time to make the tackle. Wasps really not going anywhere here. Sopawanga takes the ball up himself, and he runs across the field. Can he get anything going? There's a good pass from him, and Wasps one towards us on the left-hand side. It's Minozzi with a lovely breakthrough and a lovely offload. He's given it inside, but good scramble defence so far from Wasps. From Sale as Wasps go to the right. It's gone out to the right-hand side as Kibarigi. He makes a chip over the top. He's going towards the ball. Can he get it down? And he has. That's Zach Kibarigi, who has got Wasps back into this game. It was all very scrappy, not very much going right for Wasps, and suddenly it went to the right. Kibarigi chipped over and dived over in the corner.
Well, a really good piece of skill from Zach Kibarigi, the former England under-20 winger. It didn't really look on. There was a lot of Sale shirts between him and the line, and what he attempted there was ambitious, but he really put the afterburners on. Really good pace from the winger. And as you say, Ollie, we've seen nothing really from Wasps in this second half, but suddenly a bit of broken play. Minozzi makes a half break. They've got a little opportunity, and the ball is recycled well along the back line. Good miss pass from Tommy Taylor in looping the ball wide, and Wasps are right back in this one. So intriguing stuff. This is a game that is not easy to follow at the moment. There is a lack of really a pattern to the play, And just when it looks like one side might start to be getting the ascendancy, and that side very much looked like Sale in the early stages of this second half. Wasps right back in it, and if Sopoaga can land the conversion, we'll take a 1-point lead.
As you said, Chris, this Wasps back three is so dangerous and broken play. We saw it from Minozzi. He set up the initial break, and then it almost looks as if nothing was on, but Kibarigi found a bit of space, chipped over the top, and no one could stop him in the corner as Wasps get right back into this game as Sopoaga looks to step up. A difficult kick, this one, on the right-hand touchline. It's on the wrong side for him as well, but remember, this kick will give Wasps the lead. As Sopoaga kicks, but it's to the left, and Sale will stay in front by 16 points to 15. About 14 minutes into this second half here at the AJ Bell Stadium. The fourth Gallagher Premiership game of the season for Sale. The second time we've been here this season in the Premiership. We'll be here for every game as Rob Dupria prepares to kick off for Sale. 26 minutes remaining in this enticing matchup so far.
It could be the battle of the benches, Ollie, with a 1-point gain as we move towards the final quarter. It could be which side has the impact from the bench that ultimately might prevail here, but that's certainly changed the dynamic of the match, and we're on the knife edge again.
A good take there from Wasson. It's Robson with the chance to clear his lines. His kick is high, with not much distance on it though, but Adogwu is looking to get under it, but he doesn't really do much of it, and it looks as if he's not that on, and Sale have the ball up on the Wasps 10-metre line and a chance to build something. Here's Morozov. Oh, he juggles, but he just keeps hold of the ball and drives in. Papier there again, he's been everywhere tonight and he's been excellent. And Wasser offside there again. Thomas Foley sees in. Hammersley looks to take a chance as his incisive running gets him past the Wasps 10-metre line, but no advantage. Another offside there for Wasps, penalty for Sale, and we've seen Wasps offside quite a few times in this game, Chris.
Yeah, they've contributed to their own downfall really in terms of concession of penalties, and this one, again, from distance perspective is the issue for Rob Dupria, which it has been for a couple of the penalties that he's missed tonight, but certainly nice and straight, and he'd probably back himself on a relatively wind-free night to land this one. A couple of Wasps replacements are ready for action. The great talent that is Jack Willis, ready to come on from the bench, and Billy Searle, the fly half, so that looks like it could be Sopoaga who is sacrificed, and Willis will come on in the back row, perhaps for either Shields or Carr. We will see, but important kick this for Dupria. Sale, having just conceded that try, will be desperate now to get 3 points further ahead again.
And here comes Dupria. It's from a similar position to where Sopoaga kicked a penalty in the first half, just shy of the 10-metre line, but bang in front of the post. And Dupria will be hoping here to push this Sharks lead back out to 4 points after Wasps scored that try through Kibarigi. Looks as well if Sale have some replacements lined up. We'll tell you about them in a moment. As Dupria steps up, it looks pretty good, and it is good. Straight through the post. Good work there from Rob Dupria, and Sale are back out to a 19-15 lead as we see Luke James and Rob Webber coming on for Aka van der Merwe and Cameron Redpath. Sale Sharks 19, Wasps 15.
Steady kick that from Rob Dupria, and important that it gave Sale a bit of breathing space again. Question now of Sale making sure they don't concede from the restart, get a decent exit, and can consolidate this 4-point lead.
23.5 minutes remaining here at the AJ Bell Stadium. It was Sopoaga that came off for Searle there, so an interesting change for Wasps as Luke James takes the kick off and clears away, but it's straight into the middle of the field and a chance for Wasps to build something here. Here's Villanu. He tries a little chip, speculative from him, but it doesn't really work, and it's collected by Luke James, and Papier sees a bit of space, and that looks like a good kick. It's approaching the Wasps 22, and it bounces out just shy of it. Good vision there from Papier. We've seen the best of him tonight. He changed the game a bit against Bristol last week, and his good kicking from hand and his electric pace has really caused Wasps a lot of problems in a line out here for Wasps just outside their own 22.
Yeah, Papier's really been the man to watch tonight in all facets of his play. He's had an excellent game, and I think Steve Diamond will be trying to keep him out there as long as he possibly can. Interesting to see Searle on for Sopoaga relatively early. 2 years at Bristol for Billy Searle before her horrific injury. But he will bring a different approach at number 10 for the visitors, and he's got plenty of time to impose himself with 23 minutes still to play.
So here's the line out for Wasps. Tommy Taylor throws it in as a good line out to the front, and Wasps collect, but a good drive so far from Sale, pushing Wasps back. Wasps not really going anywhere, but they're consolidating the ball, and Robson will look to kick. Again, Adogwu's under it. Can he do better than last time? He looks to take the catch, but it's a great catch from Marlon Yarde coming forward, giving Odogwu no chance, and Sale have possession up on the Wasps 10-metre line, and it's carried through by Dan du Preez. His pass to his brother Rob du Preez is not a great one, but Rob keeps hold of it. He doesn't, and now it's lost, and Wasps have a chance to break through here. Dan Robson with the flat pass, and Wasps look to go to the right as they build possession into the Sale half. A bit of a disappointing phase there for Sale. Lost the ball, and now is Wasps' chance again to get something going as Kibarigi looks to use his feet to go forward, but Sale defend well. Wasps building something nicely here is Searle. Comes through the middle. That looked a tad forward, but nothing doing, says Thomas Foley.
I like the look of Kibarigi. He looks like a real prospect on the wing. A bit of Anthony Watson about those quick dancing feet. I think he's certainly one to watch, and a positive reaction here with a Sale penalty.
Good work there from Jake Cooper-Woolley against his former side, getting over the ball. Wasps penalised for not releasing, and a chance here for Rob du Preez to get Sale back up into Wasps territory after a bit of sloppy play there from Sale, and then almost sloppy play from Wasps again after that.
Yeah, Paolo Adogwu's technique at chasing high balls seems to be pretty low percentage chance, you think. He seems to sort of throw a left hand at it and kind of hope he gets the tap back, and on many occasions seems to miss the ball completely. And as you said, Marlon Yarde electing just to be a bit more old school, get both arms underneath it and making a clean catch. He's certainly having the better of it on this flank at the moment, Marlon Yarde.
Well, that penalty kick there from Rob du Preez, he kicked it for the corner, but it was caught by Adogwu, and Wasps have cleared their line. Sale do have a line out, but it's up on the halfway line rather than down in the 22, which is where obviously Rob du Preez would have been hoping it would be.
Yeah, he's got to be making touch there, Ollie, hasn't he? Rob du Preez ought to have not given Adogwu any chance of fielding that, and that was an easy ball for him to take, and a bit of a miss out in terms of yardage, but Sale in possession from the line out.
And a good line out there. Dan du Preez collected. It was a bit scrappy coming off it, but Janssen van Rensburg has burst through a tad there, and Sale past the halfway line. Here's Rob du Preez. He gives it out to replacement Luke James. He kicks through, but it's not a great kick. And it's charged down. Wasps look to kick again, but it was charged down excellently by Luke James. Wasps do have possession just outside their own 22, but good pressure there from the replacement. But it's a penalty for Sale. That all came from the James charge down, and then good work on the floor. It looks like it was James again. What an excellent start he's had since coming on.
And also good work from Marlon Yarde, because he's come across from the right wing. He sensed the opportunity, showing his experience and his nous there, Yarde, in where that play was going to emerge, and he contributed to the pressure that led to the charge down and ultimately the error coming from Wasps on the floor. And a good opportunity here for du Preez to give Sale a 7-point lead, which clearly is starting to become a decent one for them to leverage. But a good response this from the Sharks, from the Wasp try, Ollie, because at that point that could have been a bit of a sucker punch. It came out of nowhere, but Sale have responded positively, and du Preez with a good opportunity here to nail another 3 points.
Well, Steve Downe will be delighted with the impact of his substitutes so far. Luke James has come on and done everything. He's charged down a kick, he's won a penalty on the floor, and he's given this chance for Rob du Preez, as you said, to extend that lead out to 7 points. And in tight games like this, those little moments can swing it. Sometimes it's not always the tries, it's those key plays when perhaps there's not much going on. You charge down a kick and you win the penalty like that. That's going to be killer in a game like this, and it gives chance for Rob du Preez here, just outside the 22. Sharks currently 4 points ahead. Can du Preez extend that? It's a similar position to where he kicked one of his penalties earlier on from, as McGuigan tells his forwards to stay behind Rob du Preez. He steps back, he looks at the posts, and du Preez steps up, heading towards the post. It's high and it's good. You can tell by the cheering behind in the stand that that was good. Another good kick from Rob du Preez. Sale Sharks extend their lead to 7. It's Sale Sharks 22, Wasps 15.
3 out of 3 in the second half for du Preez. Good kicking from the South African, unaffected by a couple of misses in the first half, and 3 excellent kicks have given Sale just a bit of breathing room.
As Billy Searle kicks off, we just saw Tommy Taylor leave the field there. An excellent shift from him. With Tom Cruise coming on, he was obviously on earlier in the game when Taylor was off for a HIA, and Sale claimed that restart relatively well, but they've been penalised for holding on. It looks like that might be Brad Shields over there is one. No, it's Jack Willis. What a surprise. Of course, we saw him here a few weeks ago, cause havoc at the breakdown. He wins one there just after coming on, and Wasps have an immediate chance to respond to that du Preez penalty.
Well, Jack Willis doing really well there, Ollie. As you say, this is a serious prospect. You'd think it would be a likelihood that he'll be in England's Six Nations thinking in February. A real terrier around the breakdown, very much in the Sam Underhill, Tom Curry mould. England blessed with some really great back row options, and Willis making an immediate impact here for Wasps, and a chance for Searle to immediately cancel out that Dupree penalty that he's just landed.
So here comes Searle. It's a relatively simple kick, and he steps out of his left foot and he converts it, and that's a great response from Wasps. They'd have been disappointed with the way they've played since scoring the try, but they're back in this one now. That they've reduced the Searle lead to 4 points. Is Searle Sharks 22, Wasps 18.
A lot of penalties conceded by both sides in this game, and as we get to the last quarter of an hour, discipline, you feel, will be key now. Who can hold their nerve in and around the breakdown and ensure that errors don't lead to penalties, because it could be very much a penalty that decides this either way, you feel.
So here come Wasps. They take the kick-off well, and a good drive there from Villanu. He's played well tonight, and now just up on their own 22, and it comes back to Searle, who looked to clear his lines. He slips as he kicks it, but it's straight into the hands of Simon Hammersley on the halfway line, and he looks to run forward. He runs into the Searle half. He does well there, Hammersley. He's tackled well by Charlie Matthews. And it's another turnover. It looks like it's Odogwu this time. Searle penalised for hanging on, and it's a former Searle Shark, Odogwu, who's not had the best of games so far, but he does well there to win the penalty, and Wasps again are going to have a chance to get up in the Searle half.
Well, once more, the dynamic of this game just starts to alter a little. Every time it looks like Searle have a bit of clear water on the scoreboard, Wasps come back at them. And Searle will now have a line out to defend as Dai Young continues to empty the bench. Ben Harris is going to come on at loose head prop in place of Simon McIntyre, who's put in a big shift against his old club, and John O'Ross is replaced by Jean-Luc Dupree. So Jean-Luc Dupree becomes the third of the Brotherhood to take the field at this game tonight.
As replacement hooker Cruz throws into the line out, and Wasps look to build a drive, and there's a man down here in a Searle shirt. We can't see who it is from our angle at the moment. It must be pretty serious, as Tom Foley has blown up and stopped the game. Wasps were driving forward there at the Moor. There was no hint of any kind of penalty. It looks as he's just stopped the play for an injury. It looks like he was perhaps trodden on there, Chris.
I think it's Josh Beaumont, although hard to see from here. I'm pretty sure it's Josh Beaumont, but as you say, Ollie, immediately the players retreated, and they've normally got a good sense of when an injury is more serious than just a knock and a bit of a battle scar. So this will be a worry for Steve Diamond, and they're calling for a stretcher here, so this looks like a fairly serious problem. James Phillips is stripped on the bench for Searle, so like for like replacement, but Josh Beaumont needing to be stretchered off here. Might be a knee issue, you think, as he went down.
It looks like, Chris, it came from the line-out. You can see him wincing in pain as soon as the line-out comes down. As you said, it looks like it's a knee injury for Beaumont, who he never seems to get injured. Usually he's played in all 7 of Searle's games so far this season. But this looks a pretty serious one, and we hope Beaumont is doing okay here. The stretcher's out on the field, all the provisions being taken to make sure he gets off the field as safely as possible as James Phillips makes his way onto the pitch for Searle. With 15 minutes remaining, just a little bit of reminder of why we're here. We're here for Sharks Live. We're here for every Gallagher Premiership home game. An hour's build-up before the game, followed by live match commentary. Myself and Chris will be here at every game. We take a bit of a break after this one. We're not here for the European matches. We'll be back on December the 21st for the Northampton Saints game, and then again in the new year as Harlequins are the visitors to the AJ Bell. As Beaumont remains down, as I said, 15 minutes remaining. Searle Sharks 22, Wasps 18. If you want to get involved in the conversation, use the hashtag SharksLive. And just in these moments, Chris, it's important for the players, although they're concerned about their mate, of course, to stay focused on what's to come ahead.
Yeah, and the Searle players went into a huddle straight after Josh Beaumont went down. There weren't really any players going to talk with him and check he's okay. They know that Beaumont has got the Searle Sharks doctors and physio in attendance, and a well-drilled procedure takes place to ensure his safety as he's going to be lifted onto that stretcher. I think from a club point of view, though, a bit of a worry in particular in terms of the position, because we know Lou de Jager has got a dislocated shoulder. He's likely to be out for 4 to 6 months. And if Josh Beaumont has sustained a bad injury here, it does leave Sale a little short at second row. Bryn Evans and James Phillips pretty much the last men standing in that position, although Jean-Luc Dupré did play there in the opening game of the season here against Gloucester. But this is a bit of a concern from a squad point of view, and clearly from a personal point of view for Josh Beaumont, as he continues to receive treatment.
Well, whilst we wait, Chris, if we take a look ahead to those European fixtures coming up, obviously Sale back in the Champions Cup for the first time in a few years, and it's going to be great to see the top teams in Europe back here at the AJ Bell.
It will, and a very, very mouth-watering group. Exeter Chiefs doesn't get much tougher than a trip to Sandy Park, and Sale will lock horns home and away with them before Christmas, so Rob Baxter's men, who haven't really been in top form just yet in the Gallagher Premiership, but have been, like all sides, slightly depleted by World Cup calls. So Exeter Chiefs, pretty tough arse. Glasgow Warriors, that's where Sale will start next week, of course, with a trip up to Scotland. And La Rochelle, always a bit of a bear pit out in France to go and play out there. And a team that Sale know, of course, from last season's Challenge Cup run. So it's a tough group, and it will be a bit of an indication to see how far the Sale Sharks side have come so far, to see if they can get in the top two and get through to the next phase.
And of course, La Rochelle, the first game here at the AJ Bell on the 4th of November. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff, and that might be the day we see Sale's World Cup heroes back in action. I'm hearing that Faf de Klerk, Tom Curry and Mark Wilson will all be in action that day, and what should be an excellent game. As Chris said, La Rochelle and Sale do have some history, of course, in that semi-final last year that Sale played so well in, but just fell short. And European Champions Cup rugby back at the AJ Bell Stadium is great for fans to come and see some top-class European rugby as Beaumont remains down on the field. We give our best wishes to him. It looks like they're just transferring him onto the stretcher now. Everyone on their feet here at the AJ Bell clapping. A great player for Sale Sharks. We hope this injury isn't too serious and he's back in action as quick as possible.
Yeah, sad sight to see always when any player sustains an injury, but Josh Beaumont, hugely popular here, long-serving, former club captain and a key man for the squad, so not what anyone inside the stadium tonight would want to see, as the stretcher is fastened and he'll be leaving the field of play in the next few seconds. Difficult, as you mentioned, Ollie, for the players to stay warm and ready. Great to see the Wasps players clapping as Josh Beaumont prepares to be taken off. Always good to see the solidarity in rugby union of players who understand what they put each other through, the impact that the bodies take and the risks that they all take every time they take the field of play. And really good to see both sides clapping Beaumont as he's stretchered off down beneath us. So we hope for good news, and here's hoping that it's not as serious an injury as it might be. But 15 minutes and 6 seconds remain. 22 points to 18, the Sale Sharks lead. An important quarter of an hour, you'd feel, in their season lies ahead.
As you said, Chris, great to see everyone clapping there. Is what the rugby community is all about. But it's now back to action on the pitch as Wasps have the put-in on the Sale 10-metre line. Just under 15 minutes remaining. The props come together and it's relatively unstable, but it does stabilise, and Robson puts it in. There's a great scrum from Sale. The replacement front row doing their job then. Morozov, Webber and Jake Cooper-Woolley seem to have changed the momentum down in the forwards. A fantastic scrum, and almost immediately Thomas Foley blew his whistle to signal the penalty to Sale.
Well, a massive moment that. Could it be a turning point, Ollie? As you say, Sale on the back foot in the scrum when the first set of front rows was out there, but this all changed. Sale front row really putting a good shove in there, and of course Jean-Luc Dupré just introduced for Josh Beaumont, James Phillips as well. So all 5 of the type 5 forwards in action now for Steve Diamond's side, and 5 changes out of the 8 who started in the tight, and Sale having much the better of that scrum and now in a good position to try and take advantage.
And the throw comes in from Weber. It's collected well by Bryn Evans. And Sale look to drive forward. A good start from them in the more. And they're driving towards the Moss 22. And they have the advantage. Cruz there at the back looks to have killed that more. And he has done. Wasps penalised. It looks like for collapsing that more. There's a bit of afters there. But really no complaints that Wasps can have there. Sale were going forward. And an easy decision there for Tom Foley to give the penalty.
Really big impact from Rob Webber, Ollie. Clearly we saw in that scrum Webber's contribution, but he's getting a lot of the pats on the shoulder there, and quite rightly, because he threw well, deep to the line out, ran round the throw, got there in support, got there at the breakdown and helped force the penalty. So a really positive impact off the bench. We said a few minutes ago, didn't we, the game might be sorted by which side's bench can make more impact, and at the moment it's Sale's.
I think we've seen with the signings this year that Sale's bench has definitely improved. The whole squad has definitely improved, and it's for moments like this in a tight game. We've seen players like Luke James come on and make a difference. The entire front row's made a difference, and I think, as we said, in these tight games, I keep saying they're making a difference, but they really are, because I think that's been the difference between the two sides so far.
Increasingly, it's a 23-man game, isn't it? It's not about 15 starters and a group of replacements who might have a relatively small impact. It's about a 23-man game, and Sale at the moment are having the better of this one.
And here's Dupree stepping up, actually from a similar position where he missed that match-winning kick against Gloucester a few weeks ago. Remember, this will give Sale a 7-point lead as we approach 28 minutes in this second half, just 12 remaining. Dupree taking his time here, looking towards the post, knows how big a kick this is. And he steps forward. And he's pulled it wide. As I said, maybe the demons of that Gloucester kick came back then. It wasn't a great one, and the Sale advantage stays at 4 points.
Well, that's a bad miss, isn't it? And it was very similar territory. As soon as he struck it, you could see he'd pulled it to the left of the post, and that's disappointing from Rob Dupree. He's left 9 points out there tonight, and you have to argue that really all 9 should have been taken, and 31-18 is a very different picture on the scoreboard to 22-18. So Wasps have a let-off, and important that Sale then build from this kick-off and get themselves back in Wasps territory.
It's Dupree there who kicks the ball back down the field after the 22, straight into the hands of Minozzi, and Searle has it now. He's looking to kick for territory. It's quite a high kick from him, but it's not a great one. It's straight into the hands of Hammersley, just outside of the Sale 22, and Hammersley kicks it back, straight back into the hands of Searle. A bit of kick tennis here with 11 minutes remaining. Searle will kick the ball again here. He looks like he might have misplaced that one, but he hasn't. It's a one towards Yarde, who now kicks. He kicks down towards the 22. It was an excellent kick from Yarde. It bounces wonderfully for Sale, and Searle has to clear his lines again, up down the sideline. It just about stays in, into Papier's hands. He gives the pass to Rob Dupree. What can Sale do here? It's out to McGuigan. He's been a nightmare all night for the Wasps defenders. He gets to try something again. He carries into contact, just past the halfway line. Sale with the chance here after those phases of kicking is up to Cooper Woolley. He drives forward. A good defence there from Wasps. They push him back to the halfway line, and Sale are forced to go again. Van Rensburg tries the chip, but it doesn't quite work out, and it's back in Wasps' hands, and now Wasps have the chance. It's been a bit tipsy-topsy this game so far, and it's now Wasps with the opportunity. 10 minutes remaining, Sale Sharks 22, Wasps 18, and Searle will look to kick again here. He spots a bit of space, but it's a very poor kick. Straight to Hammers, who doesn't take it, but he is able to clear his lines here. But that's another kick straight up in the air. A series of poor kicks here from both sides, and Searle will try again. He tries the up and under. Hammers, he's coming it towards it again, and he takes a good catch, but he's stuffed well there at the line. But Sale do retain possession, and it looks as if again we're setting up for a kick. It's Papier this time. Both teams wanting to play in the right areas at the moment with less than 10 minutes remaining.
Faf de Klerk's influence has spread far and wide.
As Papier clears his lines, and it's a good kick, but it's into the hands of Minozzi, who takes it well and uses his feet well off the floor, and Wasps retain possession. Cooper Woody tries to steal it. It looks as if he may have gone off his feet, but Sale seems to have turned the ball over, and they have the ball, and it's a scrum. Sale going forward. Good work there from Cooper Woody. It was a hint of perhaps a penalty, but it wasn't. The ball came out the back, and Sale did well to get the ball back in their hands and win the scrum.
Once more, Sale having the ascendancy at the breakdown in this second half as the clock runs down. 9 minutes to play, a 4-point lead, so still Wasps very much with a say in this match, but you feel if Sale could score next, it would be tough for Wasps in the time that's remaining. And encouragement once more at the breakdown. Yeah, the kicking exchange got a bit pointless in places there, Ollie. Neither side able to find a kick that really put the other under significant pressure, and the ball just going up and back and up and back. Good kick from Marlon Yarde was probably the exception amongst that kicking tennis that we saw. He's had a good game tonight. Good to see him starting to show some of his best form, having come back in after the long-term out with the cruciate ligament injuries that he suffered last season. So both the wingers, I think, could be pretty satisfied with their nights so far for the Sharks. I think a couple of decisions for Steve Diamond to make now. Is AJ McGinty going to get a chance to manage the game out? Yes, he is. In fact, just as I speak, he runs on, number 22. So the American has his first bow back at the AJ Bell since the World Cup. Rod Dupree comes off. And so Will Cliff is the only replacement unused by Steve Diamond as we move into the last 8.5 minutes.
So a scrum here for Sale, just inside the Wasps half. As Chris said, 8 minutes remaining. And it's the moments like this, Chris, I think, where these replacements really get their money. We saw a couple of weeks ago it perhaps didn't quite go to plan. I think, what would Sale have learned from that day that they can put into practice today?
Well, I think it's about discipline and execution, isn't it? It's about ensuring that if you've got the lead, you know that the opposition needs you to make a mistake. So you've got to ensure that you don't cough up the ball with a soft handling error or a penalty for a technical infringement. You've got to just control the game and own the clock from here on. Do the basics right, scrummage properly, cleanly. Don't necessarily be too ambitious, and make Wasps come and search for the error and potentially make a mistake of their own. Another great scrum.
Brilliant scrum from Sale. They win the penalty. It's advantage to Sale, and they don't manage to do anything with it. And it looks like Van Rensburg might have broke through a bit there, but they are coming back for the penalty for the scrum, just into the Wasps half, and a chance here for the newly on AJ McGinty to pin Wasps back deep into their own territory.
Yeah, long way out, probably a little bit out of McGinty's kicking range to go for the post, but as you say, Ollie, chance for the American number 10 to launch Sale deep into the Wasps 22, and this will give them a line out in a very good position.
What a brilliant kick from McGinty. We often say about taking risks on those kicks rather than just going for the 22, but they're just shy of the 5 metre line there here, Sale, and what a massive chance this is. Sale have really turned up the notch in the last 15 minutes. The replacements have been excellent, and can they kill this game off here? As I said, this line out just shy of the 5 metre line. It'll be Webber to throw in. He throws it well into Evans, but he's not allowed to come down, and there's a penalty advantage to Sale, and the ball comes out of the line out, and Yarde looks to break through. He does well. Dogbu tries to strip the ball from him, but Sale remain in possession, and Foley comes back from the penalty. It looked as if Sale perhaps had a bit of an advantage there and could have perhaps got something going. A penalty it is, and now Sale have a big decision about what they're going to do here. It looks like Bryn Evans is standing in as captain, and he's gone for the post. And
the right option, and Evans, I think, was tackled in the air at the line out. That was what led to the penalty coming, and absolutely the right decision to go for the post, because in the situation that they're in, this will run the clock down. It gives McGinty the chance to give Sale a 7-point lead, which clearly is going to require Wasps to score a converted try to draw. And with the clock ticking away as well, it will give Sale the chance to reduce the minutes. So I think absolutely the right decision. Sale have had the better of this game, Ollie, haven't they? We've seen a couple of moments from Wasps, and when they've scored their 2 tries, they've certainly been clinical. You couldn't argue with that when they've had their chances. But in terms of possession and territory, it's been the Sharks who've been on top for much of the game. We have seen a lot of penalties exchanged, and clearly Sale haven't taken all of those. But I think as we move into the last 5 minutes, it is Sale who've had the better of the game. And they'll want to make absolutely sure this time, having lost narrowly to Gloucester and Bristol, that this is their night tonight.
And here comes McGinty then, just outside the 22. 15 metres in from the right-hand touchline. He looks up at the post. A massive kick in this game. And here comes McGinty. He strikes it well. It's through the posts. And what a fantastic kick that is from McGinty. It was a relatively simple one, but with all the pressure on him, he delivers, does the American international, and Sale extend their lead out to 7 points. Sale Sharks 25, Wasps 18.
Good connection from McGinty, never easy, coming cold off the bench and being required to land a key penalty straight away, but no nerves, good connection right through the middle.
So Wasps kick off. They need the ball back here. Sale just need to keep hold of it, play the clock well, and they'll win this game. It's a good initial carry in there from Sale, and they look to clear their lines here through Papia. He's still out on the field. What a game he's had. That's another good kick from him as McGuigan looks to go for the ball, but Minozzi takes it well, and Wasps do have the ball. That's what they need. They need 7 points here for the draw. Searle looks for the crossfield kick, and it looks a decent one, but it's not quite good enough. De Jong looking for the ball, and it bounces innocuously into touch. Was that the right option there, Chris, when you need the ball to score a try?
Well, I mean, clearly they were looking for De Jong to catch the crossfield kick. Simon Hammersley, I think, thought it might be going straight out, elected not to play it. The ball bounced in, but it will be a Sale throw. Hammersley's decision-making there, don't know. Perhaps he thought it was more of a risk if he attempted to play the ball and then got caught in the tackle by De Jong, so he was happy just to let it go out and trust Rob Webber to execute a clean line out here. 3 minutes and 39 seconds, Sharks fans, for your side to hold on here. Important throw for Rob Webber. Sale want clean ball.
And here comes that line out. It's to Evans. He's been good in the line out, especially since Josh Beaumont's gone on. He's been dependable, has the former All Black. As the Sharks drive forward, the Moor has really stepped up in this second half as well, and Rob Webber has been at the heart of it. He has the ball here. The Moor continues to go forward, and has it been dropped to the floor? It hasn't, says referee Tom Foley. And Wasps have the turnover. It looks like Jack Willis is in there again. No surprises, Chris, and Wasps have the opportunity they so desperately wanted.
Now, disappointing that from a Sale point of view, because Webber had control of that ball at the back of the maul. He was trying to just keep connected, keep bound on, and ensure that he ran the clock down a little bit. Twice he feinted to make it available to Ambrose Papio. He could have released, and Sale, clearly for all good reason in trying to just keep it tight, have actually conceded a turnover here and have given Dan Robson the chance to put into this scrum inside their own half. So a bit of disappointing play there from a game management point of view. I'm sure that will frustrate Steve Diamond and his coaching staff, because his side looked in total control really, and would just have been looking to try and get through the phases and then perhaps kick downfield, but they're going to have to face a scrum here. Now we've got a break in play. Tom Foley wanting to go to the TMO, so we're having a look at this on the screen. Rob Webber binding on. Was there some foul play in here that they're wanting to look at?
I can't see anything, Chris, immediately. Perhaps we're going to see something here at a different angle. Perhaps James Phillips there, as he come in at the angle? It looks a bit innocuous. Valery Morozov, I mean. It looks a bit innocuous, but it upset Dan Robson, of all people, and Cruz, but we're still having a look at it. Foley over at the big screen.
Yeah, well, they were trying to hurl Phillips out of the ruck when he tried to. So he went in on a Wasps player who was prone on the floor. I think that's the point, isn't it? Is the view that Phillips went in with his shoulder unnecessarily on a Wasps player on the floor who either he wanted to get out the way or felt was offside, and was that injudicious foul play that was unnecessary in terms of the breakdown? Well, Tom Foley's had a look at the screen. It certainly didn't look the most horrendous piece of nefarious dark arts that you'll see on a rugby field this season, but Bryn Evans is being spoken to now by Tom Foley, and if this is a yellow for Phillips and a penalty, and it is, then that means Sale are going to have to see the game out with 14 men. And that is indeed the end of James Phillips' contribution. He's not too happy about it. And this gives Wasps a penalty on the Sale 10-metre line and a man advantage with 3 minutes on the clock.
So Sale down to 14 men here. A big, big chance for Wasps.
And it is Morozov. Sorry, it's Morozov, not Phillips.
Valery Morozov, the replacement loose head. The man Simbin. Kearney Oosthuizen warming up. Obviously will be required to come back on if there is a scrum. But we won't need him just yet. Has Wasps have the line out on the Sale 22-metre line? Can they get their set piece right here, Sale? Can they force a turnover? It looks like they will try and compete, but Wasps do a good job there to win the ball, and it comes around the back outside to Cruz. He drives in. A good tackle there from Jake Cooper-Woolley, but Wasps remain with the ball in hand. It's Robson. A good tackle there from the Sharks. Drive Wasps back well there. It looks like there's a man over the ball, and there is. That's absolutely brilliant work from Sale to turn the ball over. Fantastic defence there. Wasps had a big chance there to get something going, but Sale forced the penalty at the more, and it's AJ McGinty. What a turnover from him, getting over the ball, forcing the turnover, and what a massive, massive moment that is in this game and in Sale Sharks this season.
Talk about reinventing perception of what a fly half brings. AJ McGinty winning a turnover at a crucial moment with just 2 minutes on the clock, and you'd hope and think that should snuff out any hopes that Wasps had of getting anything out of this game, because with less than 2 minutes to play, Sale have a line out just inside the Wasps half. Rob Webber can throw it, and some decent phases of control here, and Sale will be walking away with the win, and Wasps will have to be content with the losing bonus point that comes with being 7 behind on the board.
So a good line out there from Sale. Webber throws it in and the maul's on. Webber keeps the ball at the back of the maul, just inside the Wasps half. You'd be surprised if this went anywhere, but it does. Papio looks and he tries it off the side of his foot kick, but is well taken by Adogwu. And the referee Thomas Foley's blown up. It looked as if Van Rensburg had tried to tackle Adogwu. He's going over towards the screen again here is Tom Foley.
I wonder whether that was for a potential no arms tackle by Van Rensburg. So I think Papier took the ball off the back of the maul. His angles were shut down. Now, is that against Adogwu for a strike on Van Rensburg? Let's have a look. Adogwu jumps for the catch and then Van Rensburg goes down. Yes, it's a high foot from Paolo Adogwu. Now, that, I would have said, if it's seen as being deliberate, is a red card, because Van Rensburg was coming in to try and make the tackle and Adogwu caught him with the end of his foot. So I think this is likely to be a red for Paolo Adogwu on his return to the AJ Bill Stadium. Here comes Tom Foley, and I think this will be a red card.
So here does come Tom Foley. He's walking towards Paolo Adogwu, obviously a former South Shark. The Sharks fans obviously think it's a red card. He's chatting to Dan Robson now, is Tom Foley. He reaches into his pocket and it is a red card. Paolo Adogwu sent from the field against his former team. Wasps down to 14 men with just over a minute remaining. And Chris, I don't think Adogwu can have any complaints there.
No, I agree. It was a high foot. He saw Van Rensburg coming. He extended his foot to full extension and he caught Van Rensburg in the face, and he's given a bit of afters to the Sale fans. I don't think he can have too many complaints at that, Paolo Adogwu. As Van Rensburg arrived and was preparing to make the tackle, Adogwu took him out, and that's why Van Rensburg couldn't wrap any arms around Adogwu, because he had a boot in his face. So that's the end of Adogwu's night. Both sides are going to play the last minute with 14 men. We've had everything tonight, Ollie, haven't we? Is there anything we haven't had?
Well, it's been ridiculous, Chris. We've had tries, we've had disallowed tries, we've had yellow cards, we've had red cards, we've had... Oh, I just can't describe it. It's been an
fly halves winning turnovers.
It's been a bonkers game, and it looks like it's going to end with the kick of a boot. Absolutely no surprises that from that penalty, McGinty will step up. Just under a minute remaining, and you'll imagine he'll be looking to run the clock down.
And what Adogwu has done there, in all likelihood, has cost his side a losing bonus point, because at 25-18, Wasps take a point from the game. If McGinty slots this, then it's a 10-point win. It's nothing for Wasps, and I think that'll frustrate Dai Young. If you've got a side who have struggled to get momentum this season, on paper are probably one of the weaker sides in the Premiership, you need every point you can, particularly away, and Adogwu has probably cost his side a point with that.
We saw last week Sale took a bonus point down at Bristol, and they can deny Wasps one here tonight. As the clock runs down into the teens, McGinty steps up. It's a similar position from his last kick. He kicks it again. It's through the posts. And that's the game. Sale have extended their lead to 10 points. It looks like there is a chance for one more play, but Sale will at least have the win as they lead by 28 points to 18. But Wasps do have a chance here to try and get back within bonus point range. And it will now be the final play of the match.
Bryn Evans with a great claim.
A great claim from Bryn Evans, and looks like they're trying to get it into touch, Sale, but Dupree can't quite do it. He's tackled in play. That should just delay the inevitable here for Wasps, as it will be Papier, quite fittingly, who kicks the ball into touch to give Sale their second Premiership win of the season and their first win here at the AJ Bell Stadium by 28 points to 18. A topsy-turvy game. We had everything in this one, but Sale do come away with the deserved win by 10 points.
Well, a very, very professional second half performance, Ollie, from the Sale Sharks. 5 penalties, 3 from Dupree and then 2 from McGinty. Sale taking advantage of every opportunity that Tom Foley's whistle brought them. Good work in forcing the errors, forcing the mistakes from the Wasp defence. And Sale, with a very professional second half performance, shut the door really on a Wasp side who only really threatened when Zach Kiribigi got his try. That was probably the champagne moment of the night from a Wasp point of view. I think man of the match from a Sale perspective had to be Ambrose Papier. I thought he was terrific, Ollie, from first to last. Denied a brilliant solo try by the TMO for a obstruction from Cameron Redpath. But a very solid performance that tonight from Sale across the bar. Not perfect, there's always going to be things to work on, but I think that's just the victory that they wanted. The worry will be Josh Beaumont's injury.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said there, Chris. I think tonight was a big one. You know, the last game before we go to Europe, only one win before this one, and to come here tonight, Sale were very professional. And really, as you said, Wasps offered, 2 moments to drive in more for the try in the first half, and then Kibarigi's good play in the second. But other than that, really, it was all Sale. They dominated around the park. The set piece in the first half wasn't great. I think in the second half, once the subs came on, that makes a difference. And I think at the start of the season, that was why all these signings were made, to improve the 23, and we saw that tonight.
And I think the big difference is that they have now got a bench that they can field, Ollie, this season, of quality, of seasoned players, internationals like Morozov and Jean-Luc Dupree, Rob Webber, players they can bring on of real quality who can give a real boost in the final quarter or 30 minutes, however many Steve Diamond elects to give to them, rather than perhaps in the past where they've had to use younger, less experienced players, which has perhaps not been conducive to performance being maintained from those who started the game. So the bench really strong tonight. I thought Rob Webber in particular executed a couple of really key moments, and AJ McGinty, well, he's putting a lot of pressure on Rob Dupree now for that number 10 shirt from the cameo appearances that we've seen from him. So very solid performance from Sale tonight and a big step in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said there, Chris. As the players come through in the tunnel at the end of the game, the Sale fans clapping off their team, deservedly so. It's a great performance from Sale tonight. 2 wins and 2 defeats from this opening block of Premiership fixtures, and I think now, Chris, we can say this first block has been a success with the bonus points taken in those defeats as well.
Yeah, a team that's had as many new personnel as came in the summer. I think you're inevitably, with so many new faces, it's going to take some time to bed down, to work out the best combinations, to understand different strengths, playing style, and all those elements. So it was never going to be something that was going to come right in the first couple of games. I'm sure Sale is still a work in progress. There are still a number of elements to that performance that I'm sure the players will look at and think we could be better at that, we could be better here. But they've got De Klerk, Tom Curry, Mark Wilson all to come in. Diaga's injury is a blow, but they've got depth in this squad. And Europe now becomes really a period, I think, of exploration to say how good is this side, because in the Challenge Cup you're going to face different styles of play when you play against the French teams in particular. Glasgow Warriors, of course, play in a different league as well, so there's going to be some different, rather unknown opposition for them to lock horns with, and facing Exeter Chiefs, clearly they've got one of the top 2 teams in the country who over the last 3 or 4 seasons not many teams have managed to beat, particularly on their home ground. So it's going to be a really interesting passage of play in the season. A couple of weeks of European rugby and then a trip to the Worcester Warriors, of course, as well, to break up the European run. So really positive evening for Sale, lots more to work on, I'm sure.
Yeah, and as you said, Chris, this isn't even Sale's, there's still players to come back. We've got the Currys, we've got the Faf de Klerks to come back as well. And, I think there's been some real positive signs showed today. And to grind out a win as well. This wasn't an easy one. This is a tough game. Wasps came up here and gave it their all. They won last week against Bath. So an excellent performance from Sale. Now we're delighted with that to emerge 28-18 winners against Wasps Rugby. And I believe we can go back down to Colin Pitchside now, who has got a very special guest with him.
Okay, welcome back. Thank you guys, much appreciated. I'm with man of the match, mate. Great performance, happy?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a big improvement from last week. The boys did well today.
There was some great runs in the first half, some great breaks there. That must be great to see when we're trying to play that run in rugby and seeing those guys get free.
Yeah, definitely. I think the boys did well today. Still butchered a few opportunities in the first half, but we'll take learnings from that and take it into next week.
We could build from that, it's great. Don't worry about butchering chances, mate. It's fine, do you know what I mean? When you come out, was it 28-18, isn't it? It must be great to get that. The frustrations of Bristol, Gloucester, it must be really a good feeling, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely good feeling, and I think we just need to take it week by week and focus on next week.
Absolutely, thank you very much. It's cold, so I'm not going to stand out and chat. Just a quick one though, because it's all about connecting to fans. How important is it to see this place full?
Yeah, definitely. The fans make a big difference. They definitely encourage the boys and cheer them on when we need them most, and we really appreciate all their support.
Absolutely. Listen, thanks very much. Let's go speak to them. Thanks very much, mate. Guys, that's the point. You guys at home are so important to what we do here. We really want to see your bums on seats. Let's go and chat to a few quickly, just see how they find the game. Sharks Live, keep the conversation going. Comments below. Let's go and chat to a few guys down here. You okay? How you doing? Did you enjoy that game at all? Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, great game today. I thought they played really well there. They needed that after last week.
Oh, absolutely, after last week. As yourself, you saying?
Oh no, yeah, I loved it. It's freezing, but yeah, I loved it. It's, really
it's tropical. Tropical, it's fine. It's great getting the win.
For the north, yeah.
Tropical for the north, absolutely. Yourself, enjoy that?
Yeah, very good. Excellent work. Really good game.
Anything stand out for you today?
I think, no, not particularly. Let's be honest.
Nice to see some of those breaks early on, actually. That was quite important for us to see.
I thought number 11 played very well. I don't know his name, but he played very well. I come from Jersey. We just came up for the game today, and actually thought it was a really good game.
Are you one of our furthest fans? Is that what you're saying?
We've got to come up. We've got to support the team. We've got to support what's going on. We just like rugby. Ultimately.
Thank you for making that journey. I really appreciate it. Absolutely. Let's chat to people. Did you enjoy that game today?
Yes, I mean, we were down in Bristol last week and the weather was miserable and the score was miserable. Tonight was so much better.
And I suppose it really feels good to get the win at home, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. More of that to come, hopefully.
Do you think that's the Friday nights that do that to us, you think?
Well, we prefer a Saturday afternoon, but it's still got good vibes.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. Appreciate it. Guys, did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy that, guys?
Yes, I did.
Enjoyed your meeting, AJ?
Yeah.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, good on you. Let's chat to a few more people down here, guys. So we were talking before. We needed that, didn't we?
Yeah, great win, lovely game. Bit scrappy at the end of it, but yeah, we got the win, so it was good.
So 28-18. They didn't get a losing bonus point, did they? So
no, they didn't. Wasps didn't really come out in the second half either. So, but we didn't at the end of the day. But great win.
We'll take that, absolutely. It was great chatting to you today. Good to see you. Hopefully see you again soon. Good on you. Let's chat to a few. Let's go try and find a few more people. How you doing? You okay? Do you enjoy that?
Awesome. Absolutely awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's a complex answer for a complex question. Yeah, what did you enjoy the most? Who was your favourite player? What did you like the best out of it today?
Who's your favourite player today?
Marlon Yarde.
Ah, yes, the Marlon fans. We love that. Did you enjoy that as well, yeah?
Yeah, it's good fun.
Did you come a lot? Did you come often? Yeah, whereabouts are you coming from? Where have you travelled? Old Winians. Oh, not a massive distance, but still a graft to get here, nonetheless. If you could say anything to the fans at home that didn't quite make it, because obviously the Friday night chippy tea is important. It's
warmer than us.
She's lying, it's lovely here. Yeah, it's absolutely tropical. Guys, thanks very much for chatting. Great to speak to you. Okay, and that's it for us today. 28-18, we'll take that. Wasps did not get anything out of today. It's just a long journey back home down the M6. They can have that. South Sharks Live, keep the conversation going. Comments below, and we'll see you again very soon for another South Sharks Live.